Oh, look who's talking.
I'ma talk shit in the world gone stupid.
We're back. All right.
We made
it. The typical "We're back" song, and we have a guest today. Lovely Shane Dahlmeier.
What's up, boys?
Yeah,
good looking out.
Long time friend.
Coming.
Call him family. Fuck it. Yeah, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, we've known Shane. Well, I've known Shane since he was fucking 5 years old.
Coaching T-ball.
I think
4 or 5.
I might have known you since you were probably 12 or so.
Yeah,
something like that. And you're like, what are you, like 38 now? Or
I look it, but
you
no.
do. We'll take out your hat for everybody so you can see.
Okay, here we go.
Hey, thanks, Dad. Hey,
Hey, you know what?
Like
Hey.
that. Looking like a retired fire captain. By
Mom
the
and
way.
Dad, thank you for the genetics. Appreciate it. But hey, you know what? I looked like this also when I was 18, so I never got carded. So
Can say that now.
yeah,
That's right.
statute of limitations are
Definitely
over.
couldn't say it before.
No, definitely not.
Pops and Mom, there's no way they were letting that go down.
But no, I'm 26 now.
Well, being that today of all days, we absolutely go over our weekends because we have Shane, and Shane is one of our critics. Our fucking weekends.
I don't.
So fuck Shane. And real quick, it's been 3 weeks since we got together.
2
Right?
weeks.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. It's been crazy.
Yeah, we've had a lot going on.
Yeah, I can only remember this last weekend. So I'm going to go over that real quick.
Go
We
for
did
it.
some college visits with my daughter. Went out to Pennsylvania to just outside of Philadelphia, a college called Bryn Mawr. It's like this elite, borderline Ivy League school for all girls. This crazy educational school with buildings that look like Hogwarts. It literally looked like I was in Harry Potter land there.
Really?
School's old as hell. Really cool.
Was anybody flying on any brooms?
No, but they were playing Quidditch.
They were playing.
They fucking were
Stop
playing.
it right now,
No,
bro.
but they were playing field hockey. Same fucking shit.
Yeah.
Same shit.
Except running around, right? It was kind of funny. We were out there, and it was
No
a
one's
club.
LARPing out there.
There was just like, it was a club weekend, so there's a lot of younger girls playing at tournaments, like soccer tournament, but it was field hockey. Tons of them on this one field there, and I walked out and I looked at So-So and I was like, they playing Quidditch or what? How come they're not flying around? She thought it was funny. She loved it there. It was a great place, great school. And then we went on from there went to Colorado and Boulder. Took a look around that school. And it was pretty quick and pretty apparent that that's where she wanted to go. So she committed to us at the end of our tour as we were in the bookstore. She was kind of looking around. We bought her a sweater at Bryn Mawr. I was like, you got in here, whether you pick this place or not. Go grab something. Good,
Yeah.
college sweater. So we went into Boulder bookstore, and she's looking around smiling, and I go up behind her, and I'm like, so should I buy something? And she's like, yeah. I was like, fuck yeah. So proud of my daughter to get into all these amazing schools. She went and got into a bunch of other big schools, but
Yeah.
she's going to Colorado this next year, and we're happy and we're proud. So
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's fun.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Yes.
what about you?
Now our weekend dinners will be gone because you're paying for tuition.
Exactly. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing anything. So
This thing needs to start picking up, start making money on it.
Yeah, it'd be nice if the economy changed around.
Or just get more listeners.
Yeah, more listeners
Yeah.
might work. This might be the one.
Yeah, you never know.
You don't know.
I'm the catalyst.
Yeah, you could be a catalyst.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Good.
So what'd you do? Is nothing? Who cares?
Yeah, I pretty much who cares, but I went and visited one of my buddies just bought a new boat. He's down in Newport, and it's a pretty sick boat. It's a 92 footer.
Oh,
Oh.
I would say
It's got 4 bedrooms.
They don't make shitty 92 footers, do they?
It's got 4 bedrooms, a huge parlor to sit outside. And,
Wow.
and it's dope.
Sick.
It's incredible.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, and for the low price of 1.5 million. Can you believe it?
okay. Well,
Only?
Only.
floating house.
Yeah, and he's throwing another 200 grand into the engines
for
and
him.
everything else. And
Good.
so he's going to come up for beach life this weekend
Oh, fun.
and park it in the harbor for the weekend. And
Wow.
we'll party on it and watch some shows.
Hell
and
yeah.
Then he's going to go head to Catalina for the summer.
I was originally saying before the show started that I wanted to be like Bo when I grow up, but I think I'd rather be like your friend.
You would. You would, trust. He's living his best life.
Yeah, he is, dude.
He's.
Yeah.
I think he's 62 or 63, but he's in hella shape. He doesn't have an ounce of body fat on him.
Sick.
He travels between L.A. here, Catalina. He bought a property there. Florida, he bought a property in Fort Lauderdale. And then he lives another house in Puerto Vallarta. So
Jeez.
between all three, all he does is fish and hang out. He's got like a 30-footer or 40-foot Freeman. They're like with the ones with they got 4 motors on the back, and they're the fishing vessels.
Oh yeah.
So he's got one in Mexico, and then the one that travels back and forth between
Those
Florida
things can
and
be
here.
$1 million freaking bucks, dude.
They're $1 million.
Insane, dude.
Yeah, and
Well, it's official. I'd much rather be
they're
like him.
sick. You're going, yeah. You go from here to Catalina like in 30 minutes,
Dude.
just floating on top of the
Fuck
water.
yeah, bro. Hell yeah.
But it's 0 miles to the gallon.
Right? 0 nautical miles.
Yeah, 0 miles to the gallon. So you better have money to spend on gas.
have a few
Yeah.
$1,000
Well, if you have
a
$1 million
weekend.
to spend on a boat, I think you have some gas money laying around.
He's got it figured out.
Yeah. Shane, what was your weekend?
You guys
Nobody
give
gives
a
a
fuck.
fuck about your weekend.
It was in the
kidding.
firehouse.
Just kidding. Were you working this weekend?
It was on the recliner.
Yeah, I worked yesterday. Saturday I was off. Got off Saturday morning. Enjoyed my day off. Kind of relaxed. Did some fun errands, and then Sunday went back into work. Got off this morning, and then yeah.
Oh, nice. You're
About
coming off a shift.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to catch up about your work pretty soon, but let's talk about some local shit.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we had a local tutor try and kill the president.
we are in the news.
Torrance made the news
We are
again.
in the national news, guys.
What was his name?
I have no idea what
I
his
don't-
name is.
I didn't even
I
pay
don't-
attention.
I know.
I try not to learn too much about the people who are doing the dumb shit because it's the victims that I feel need the notoriety. But
Well, that's such a great thing to say about the president. I didn't realize that you cared so much about the president.
yeah, well, he wasn't the one. It was the Secret Service agent. I just don't remember his name. Damn it!
Almost had you.
That got shot. In the
Almost
chest.
had you giving a fuck about the president.
Look, I do give a fuck about the president. Believe it or not, I do, and I give a fuck about his health. I want him to be healthy.
Yeah.
I don't want people to be assassinating our fucking president, no matter whether you like him or you don't. And you know, the political shit is, no matter who it is, it's going to be over in 4 to 8 years. So deal with it. Shut the
Yeah.
fuck up and keep going until we
Yeah.
get the next election.
Yeah. Not everybody thinks that's how it goes down. They think it's much worse for much longer. But yeah. So anyway, he like lived. Is it over by the old Little League field? Not the old.
No,
Little League
he
field, by the
lived
Little
in
League field.
between me, on Gramercy.
Yeah, Gramercy's right off Western.
But it was like in the middle of the block. No,
Okay, but I
no.
thought
Gramercy's
Gramercy's-
right off Carson Street. In between Carson and Delamo.
I thought Gramercy ran
So
with
you
Western.
go down from my house, you go out to Carson Street, you make a left. Right after Arlington, the first street is Gramercy. So if you're going towards Carson, on Carson Street, as
Yeah.
soon as you pass Arlington, the first right that you can make where they just built those new condos right there.
Yeah, so it does run the same direction as Western.
Correct.
So, but it's like 1 to 3 blocks west of Western, right? It's like
No,
one
it's
block.
on this side of Cabrillo.
It's like closer to like Old Town.
Yeah, it's closer to Arlington.
Okay. Anyway, our listeners don't give a fuck.
Yeah. So,
but
anyways,
it's
right
close
around
by.
the corner from my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in Pennsylvania when I saw it. Pretty crazy.
So I went to drop my daughter off at her boyfriend's house, which is on Gramercy, right at the beginning
Oh,
of,
yeah?
of the block. And then, of course, I had to drive down
Of
because
course you
there's-
did.
There's 30 cameras posted in front of this house and 5 news vans 24/7
Yeah, insane.
in front of this house. And then I
Insane.
peeled off and went to the house.
Some of my daughter's friends were, that was their tutor. Like current college tutor.
Stop.
Yeah, crazy. Crazy.
And did they give you any reports? Oh, he was such a
No,
sweet guy.
I know why. Yeah,
Never
exactly.
said anything
That
bad to
wasn't-
anybody.
No, it always is. Like,
Was he a good tutor?
He was quiet.
Well, I mean, someone made the comment like, "Can you imagine sending your kid to a tutor who ends up trying to kill the president?" And I'm like, "Well, if he's as good of a tutor as he is assassin, my kid's failing school. That's for fucking sure." It's a shitty plan. I'm just gonna grab some guns and run through. But I'm gonna address something real quick. I'm gonna go conspiracy theory. You guys ready for
Here we
this?
go. Yeah, let's go,
You guys
Megan.
ready for this? So, I'm a gun advocate, so I understand gun laws and whatnot. Shane can follow along. And I don't know the gun laws in Maryland or where were they? Washington, D.C.?
DC?
They're in D.C.
DC.
So I don't know the gun laws in Maryland, or if they're tighter in D.C., which they probably are. Just like in Chicago, Illinois, it's different. So I'm like, how long has he been there? Because how did he get guns in Maryland? Did he drive them there? So I guess
Well, you
that's...
can fly with firearms.
Right. Okay.
You can.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. I mean, that's pretty simple
I've flown
thought.
with firearms to South Dakota when we went hunting.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't even think of that. All right. So let's just say that he flies in with his guns, right? Because he had multiple guns.
Yeah, I don't know if he flew or drove.
He had multiple guns and multiple knives, from what I understand. I didn't read articles. I allowed my vision to skim headlines, and so I pick up little things here.
Just
and
for
there.
conjecture
Yeah,
purposes only.
just so I can spit some BS into this microphone. And so I was like, how did he get the guns there? That's kind of crazy. How long has he been there? This is weird, right? And then his plan was fucking terrible. There's a quick video that I watched, and I guess it's like he just like sprints down this hallway through the security checkpoint. And did he expect he was going to get in there and get a shot off? I mean, you had to run by like 50 agents to
I would
get
assume
into this.
with how he was running, he was expecting, or he was at least giving it like 100% effort.
He was giving his college try.
Yeah.
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 So, anyway, so that goes down, right? And I'm looking at it and I'm going, man, did you hear about that whole Jimmy Kimmel thing?
About how the week before or something, he
2
said,
days before.
he said,
He says, Melania, you're glowing like a recent widow or
yeah, like
something.
yeah,
like that,
yeah.
right? Yeah, I'm well aware that comedians we've been making jokes about the president since they could be on TV and not get arrested for it.
I'm
So
sure
70s,
they were making
80s.
jokes about the presidents before when the first one was elected.
Exactly, right? Had to be, right? And so it's timing, but I would not put it past
Jimmy Kimmel.
No, and my right ringers are gonna hate me. Okay, I don't see Jimmy Kimmel fucking planning an assassination.
Of course not,
and I definitely
bro.
don't think that he's gonna say something like that right before he tries
He's
to
not
kill
gonna
the
spill
president.
the beans,
He's not
bro.
gonna say anything, right? He's probably gonna start kissing the ass of the president if he wants him killed, right? If he's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
plan his
invite him
death,
over
he's-
for dinner.
Right? We got a little reverse psychology. I'm like, did the CIA put this guy up to this? Because Trump hates Kimmel. And that's been an ongoing thing. And so he says this little thing, and then the CIA has a hired crisis fake
Actor?
actor thing
Slash
crack off
shooter?
2 days later.
No, bro. The
No?
guy was planning it for 2 weeks at least.
You don't know shit. You didn't read
He's
nothing.
I got some of the highlights from the headlines that were spit out when I was passing by.
I like my idea. I think my idea is great, and I'm not blaming the president. I'm blaming the CIA. They do lots of shit without the president knowing.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
No.
pretty crazy though to be in our local town.
It
You know what?
is.
Put us on the map.
Bringing back the South Bay, bro.
Let's do it. Bringing it back.
What do you think, Shane? What do you think about our assassin?
You know what? I give him A for effort. I give him, right?
Oh, that's nice
F
of you.
for
That was pretty
execution.
shitty.
Yeah, F for execution. But like, I saw
No
him,
pun
like,
intended.
I know for sure he looked like he was breaking his sweat running. Like, I gotta give the guy that. He tried.
He tried.
But I couldn't understand. I heard he was talking shit about the Secret Service's like detail about how they're so lax and all this shit through his scoping it all out for the week prior, and then he does the stupidest thing by just running through the middle of it.
You know what? False confidence does that to you, right? So, like, I could talk shit all day about, like, yeah, I can kick John Jones's ass, right? I can do it. I know how. I've watched his tape.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. I've seen his weak points.
Right, exactly.
I know when he gets tired.
But guess what? If I get in the octagon, I got inside of 15 seconds. I'm getting lateral,
With a broken leg.
and I'm not waking up.
That's
Yeah,
just
no.
with one teat kick to the
Yeah.
belly. I can't breathe, guys.
Yeah. So, like, false confidence will do that to you.
It had to be, bro. He had to be on a whole nother high.
I mean, you have guys that all they do for a living is plan on, hey, how's a crazy asshole going to try to kill the president today?
Yeah.
And I'm assuming someone in the office and during their little board meetings was like, what if they sprint? And I'm sure they're like, we're not even worried about it.
No, we'll just shoot
they're
him.
not going to get by him.
Yeah.
Well, he did. He did kind of.
He did kind
Well,
of.
he shot one, but he couldn't get past the next 20.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, you got to be like a badass.
Like I said, A for effort.
Yeah.
The guy went all out.
Right.
But it was definitely a failed attempt.
Straight
I think
up,
I think he could have gone back to the drawing board a little bit more, and maybe had like a phone a friend of like, hey, do you think this is a good idea?
Phone a Navy SEAL. That's probably what we should have called.
Yeah, man. And then he, I don't know how he survived. Like, why did they must not have shot him because there was so many people around that area. That
I would,
they didn't
I would
want to
assume
pull
they
the
probably
guns
just
out and
tackled
smoke
him.
Because
Yeah, they probably
the
just tackled
CIA
him.
needed him to cash their paycheck they were paying him.
Yeah, that's
They
right.
weren't killing him because it was the plan.
That's
It was
right,
just
that's
an
right.
attempt.
It's making
Just
more and
an
more
attempt.
sense.
Hey,
Yes,
Megan Kelly
thank
wants
you.
you on her show tomorrow with Candace.
I'm busy. I'm busy. I can't handle Candace. But there was it. What else? What else? I mean, that's all we got.
That's,
I mean,
that's,
shit,
I mean,
right?
hey, you know,
We got
the
nothing
assassination attempt on the president. I mean, if that's all we can come up with today,
Horse baby.
we're done.
We are done. Okay, real quick. I got you know I like to talk about movies and shows and whatnot. I like to look at critiques. So I just want to throw something out. I tried to do a little research and I fucking didn't. But we'll talk about it anyway. Do you guys watch Euphoria?
No.
No, bro.
Okay, you guys are missing
Season
out.
1 stopped me when the dad raped the little transvestite kid in
Yeah.
the hotel room.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
couldn't keep watching the show. It was
Yeah.
too much crazy shit for me.
Yeah.
And it gave me the icks, so I
Yeah.
stopped watching it.
It is a thought-provoking show. I love film like that. I like stuff that you watch and it makes you fucking turn on the
Faces
inside.
of Death.
Not like that. I mean, I used to watch that shit, but like I like stuff that makes you feel icky and
Yeah,
weird.
it
and
did. It was
I
all
lo-
kinds of not for me.
When I get uncomfortable, I laugh. I think it's funny because it's film. They're getting paid for a script. It's not like we're watching reality where some child is being
For sure. But
actually. But again, you have to act it out, so you kind of have to do it and experience
yeah,
it, right?
and I'm not into things that hurt. I mean, regardless of trans kid or whatnot kid, I'm just not into people hurting kids.
Of course. This show really kind of like puts some different things into some better perspectives. We had our experiences growing up. You had your experience. I'm 20 years older than you. He's 30 years older. So your teen years is relatable and as similar as they were to ours. You had a lot of things that came into your life that we never saw, never had to experience, and there are things that we experienced that you never had to worry about. And whatever those are. But I love this fucking show.
You love this season most?
I love the show. I haven't watched the new season yet.
Oh, okay.
But I love the show, and I'll say it on camera. My favorite character on the show is the transvestite kid,
Okay.
Jules. She's a boy who is a girl, and she's my favorite character in the whole fucking show. Every scene of these seasons is like, it's like this one the biggest moment for that kid in their life. Like every time there's a scene about that kid, it's like this crazy, deep, life directional fucking movement opportunity for their life. Like whether it's bad or good, everything is super heavy for all these kids and all these different things coming at them all the time. And I really like it. So, and it makes its bones in the first 1 or 2 seasons for sure. Like
There's
you
3
said,
seasons or 4
there's
seasons?
3.
Don't ask me. I've never seen it.
3 seasons, and you stopped after fucking 30 minutes, right?
Well, it was. Yeah, I don't know if it was.
whatever
I
it
think
was. It's an hour
first
show.
or second episode or
So
something like that.
You opted out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you knew what you were getting, right?
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
And it was going to
I
get
don't like
worse.
Handmaid's Tale either.
Handmaid's Tale? What
Yeah.
the fuck is that?
That's the one where it's like the New World Order has hit and the conservatives have taken over the country and all women are going back to like.
And you don't like that?
Well, let me elaborate more.
Great
Before we just
question,
stop. Before we just stop at the initial onset of the explanation.
Soft.
Where they start to enslave women, and now you've got your wife, and then you've got like 6 concubines that you just rape and beat on and do
Go
all
ahead.
that shit.
Repeat
to.
your question. Repeat your question.
And you don't like that?
Okay, Andrew.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't get it. Anyway, it's just you know what you're getting. And so I'm building this story up to get to this point. The idea is that I've been seeing a lot of articles, and maybe you've seen, Shane, on your Instagram, where like Sydney Sweeney is getting a lot of fucking negative feedback about some of her scenes.
Yes,
I've
I've been seeing those taglines, but I haven't clicked on them
I
either.
don't read anything that has anything to do with Sydney Sweeney. She's an angel in my eyes.
Yeah, so don't read anything.
So I just look at the pictures.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, so there's right now.
Keep her innocent.
Right. She's America's sweetheart.
Yeah, for sure. And I saw a tagline the other day where she had a comment about Eli Tomac, who races Supercross, and I was like, she watches Supercross. Oh. Marry me, divorce. Marry me, divorce me, marry me again. I would do it twice. Sorry, babe. Anyway, so there's a lot of taglines right now. Some photos where she's kind of dressed up like a bunny, or she actually has like a dog, and she has a. There's another photo where she has a.
Well, I think that was a scene that she was playing in
so
that
the picture
show.
is the picture is her in the scene, and it's two that I've seen. One is where she's dressed up like a dog, and the other one she's dressed up like a baby. And I guess in one of the scenes, she's wearing a diaper because she does OnlyFans on the show now. Part of her character does OnlyFans. So during her OnlyFans scene parts, she's doing weird shit like some OnlyFans girls do.
Right.
And she's getting all kinds of crazy, like, oh, this is terrible. They've gone too far.
Yeah,
and
yeah, that's the things that I read.
My question is, did you not watch seasons 1 and motherfucking 2?
Right.
Like, no, they didn't go too far. They went too far in season 1. You should have broke your fucking ethics on season 1. Why are you watching season 3, dude?
I would agree with you.
Yeah, I thought maybe you guys.
I'm sure it was the women's suffrage movement that.
Yeah, or it's AI.
All right, I can't even argue.
Or CIA.
Yeah, or CIA. Good,
CIA,
good.
that's it.
Or Putin. Or both.
Yes,
CIA
yes,
and Putin.
yes.
Working conjunction.
I'm running. Hey, I think we got some theories going.
They're not theories. They're just facts we haven't fucking found out yet.
We haven't proven yet.
These are truths that haven't been brought to fucking surface.
Shit. That's the truth.
But yeah, I was just like, are you fucking kidding, dude? Like, you went too far. Like, watch season 1. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and when is Mandalorian and Grogu coming out?
Fucking Mandalorian and Grogu.
Oh fuck!
What else is fresh before we start talking about? Sean?
Let me tell you guys. So I mentioned
Sean.
Andrew Wilson.
I called you Sean, by the way, and I'm not going to pretend like I didn't just say that. I apologize.
All my life.
Well, it's on microphone.
How many times have you done it growing up,
too
Bo?
many.
Yeah, sorry.
Too many.
For those of you who don't know, I have a brother named Sean. And growing up, it was always one or the other. And turns out, like, I just respond to asshole too. So, like, I got that a lot.
Respond to everything.
Yeah. So, as long as you're making, at least some sort of effort to get my attention, I'll respond.
So, do you know who Andrew Wilson is?
No.
And
Sorry.
you probably definitely don't know who Andrew Wilson is. Andrew Wilson is part of a show where they'll bring, like, supposedly women's lib activists, but they're not really. They're strippers. They're bimbos.
Oh, this is that guy that brings them on and he shits on them?
Yes, and he shits on them all the time, right?
Yeah.
And he shits on him for the most part with... It makes sense. Because they don't know a lot about much of anything other than trying to be cute and fucking with guys, and that's all they really are educated on. And so he just rips them apart. And then he goes on debate shows, and his big thing is liberals. He loves to bash liberals. His concept is that he knows how to break things down to their most rooted meaning. So whatever the word is, or you contextualize it, he understands how to break a subject down to its core values and then start from there and then manipulate the situation so that he brings everything back to those core values. And he dominates majority of the conversations, but here's how he dominates it. And he's using a false positive to garner all of his reputation, because it's facts. But these facts you can't dispute, and then he runs the whole world around these facts. And the fact number one is women can't beat up men. So because the matriarchy can't beat up the patriarchy rules supreme, and women shouldn't be allowed to vote. They should.
Oh, so I get he spirals into these weird ass avenues to make it make sense.
Yes.
Okay.
And
I like it.
For the most part, most people shouldn't vote.
Yeah.
Because the country was not set up to be a democratic country where every vote is counted and everybody has an opinion. The country was set up as a republic with representatives from your state to represent your interest in your state, and then go forth to the federal side of it and vote on the issues that your state wants. And
that all makes sense, but you get people in there that have their own personal avenues, or they get corrupted, so then they no longer speak for the people or think they know. Because what I got from that was they're representing the people, and they're not supposed to always take all the votes. We're supposed to listen to everybody, but they're also supposed to make a decision on if that's the best idea because they have a bird's eye view of, what society and things, how the money's being spent, all that. So then
Correct.
they take what they're listening, and then they kind of make the best decision,
Yes.
even if it's not majority rule.
Correct.
But that's a great idea, but it doesn't work out like that.
It's a great idea, but then it works into the concept that, it doesn't matter. I don't know how you take the corruption out of it, aside from taking money out of politics in general, and then you got to take the corporate side out of it because it's just too much money in it, and people will do shit for money.
Yeah, it's just
but
money.
long story short, so he shits on anybody that has any concept, and that it shouldn't be a male dominated world, and that women should just not shut the fuck up because he thinks that they have
I want to be asked if I want dinner. Right? I want to be asked.
I want to be asked how I want my bath temperature.
Do you want me to hang this shirt or put it in the dryer? Those are good questions. Those are
Do
good
you want
questions.
it cut evenly or in triangles?
Yes. Do you want crust?
Yeah, so no crust. So that's he kind of and he says that women being able to vote was the worst thing that happened to America, and that we need to go back.
Right.
That's a hot take.
Yeah.
Hot take.
Oh shit. And but that's just who I was referring to when I asked about Andrew. But you guys should look into him. He's rising through the talk shows right now, and he's gotten a lot. He only started during COVID too. He was a robotics mechanic, and transitioned from COVID, doing some debates, and then has just blossomed over the last 5 years.
I like it. Or it sounds interesting because as much as I don't want to just promote people treating other people like shit, because that's that whole thing about Kirk that I really didn't like.
Correct.
But this seems like it's a basis on just kind of fucking with them and utilizing facts to manipulate the conversation. It's more of entertainment as opposed to pretending like it's a real conversation like Kirk used to.
Okay, but it is a real conversation with the dude, and he seems to he understands how society works. He's not a fucking idiot, and he knows how you need to treat people. But still, when it comes down to the core questions, like if you're not a Christian and you're of another faith, when it comes down to it, he can't have anything to do with you.
Who is he? Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew Wilson.
So he is a lot like Kirk when it comes to religion being his base core value of how he
his thing is that
politics.
That all of Western civilization is based on the, I don't know if you want to call it Judeo-Christian, because I don't have all of these different terms broken down for what they literally mean in each fucking
we
one.
don't care anymore.
No,
remember?
I know, but somebody out there is going to fucking say, well, it's not
Good.
Judeo-Christian.
Good comment, motherfucker.
Yeah,
we don't have any
right.
comments. Go for it. Say something. Interact.
Pick one.
Tell your friends you hate us and then subscribe. Shit.
And
Tired of being right. Shane, say something. Fucking sitting over there not
What?
saying the goddamn.
I'm sorry, I'm acting like one of your 35 listeners right now.
Just listening.
Yeah, just listening.
just listen, no comments.
Yeah, no comments. Yeah.
Just listening. No comment.
Yeah.
That was funny.
And but it gets kind of scary the more core you get into the conversation with them. Like there is this hard fucking red line, like it's either my way or the highway, and I'm fucking willing to die, you know, on this fucking hill because of it.
Okay.
But we'll see if you're really willing to die on this hill
Yeah,
when somebody
right.
steps to his face.
Right.
Isn't that most people that are in a position like him, that are going out on there and making debates, right? They have that
Yeah.
line.
They have to
Right.
sell that, right?
And like that's what their core value is, whether you're on the opposite side or not. But I feel like everyone, especially nowadays, like more social media, more exposure, like everyone has that red line that you mentioned of this is where I'm standing, and I'm either going to be with you or against you, and I can't change. Because you don't see people nowadays going like, yes, you are right. Let me change my thought on that. It's not common.
No,
no.
it's not common. Well, it's not common in front of a camera,
Yeah.
Maybe.
but outside of the camera, I think it's pretty fucking
Yeah,
common.
where I think everybody's used to having to do something crazy on camera so that people want to watch and listen to them
Absolutely.
again. And
Yes.
so they have this hard red line they have to stick to just for the sake of
for their
promoting
core
themselves.
fucking fans.
Right.
Yeah, it's you're promoting your fan base.
Yeah.
Right. You have a following that is following you because of A, B, or C,
Yeah.
and you have to stick to that, or else you're going to lose now your fan base.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on a positive note, that's one thing I like about Joe Rogan is that he doesn't have a fucking hard line. He's willing to change his mind about shit or fucking
is.
be
I mean,
educated or
He does
do,
have
and you know,
what feels like hard line core beliefs because he sticks by them for the most part in general. But I do agree with you that he listens.
yeah, he listens
and is
and
capable
he's
of changing
learning
his
and-
mind.
Yeah,
He's the most neutral that I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not completely neutral,
No,
because
he's
no
not.
one is.
No, no.
Yeah,
he's,
yeah,
he's
for
a
sure.
But
right,
he's
a
the
right
most
sider.
neutral.
yeah.
Yeah, he's a right sider, right? I mean,
I think he is.
I think he's in the
think he
middle.
is.
I think he just agrees with common sense. And when fucking people are being stupid, doesn't matter. Even if he was a Democrat for most of his life, I believe, from the things that he would say before.
Yeah.
And now he said more right wing or conservative comments recently
Yeah.
about things. But I think they were legitimate with how fucking crazy the left was swinging over to that side. You know what I mean?
he's just like me. He wants to be just like me.
That's
Can't we
true.
all just
That's
get
true.
along?
Huh?
Can't we all just get along?
Yeah. Can't we all just be like me and get along?
Yeah.
Before I forget, cigar of the week.
Oh, yeah.
Where Shane's not smoking. You're a smoker, but you're not smoking today.
I'll smoke if you want me to smoke.
Putting you under the gun.
Okay.
Did he ask if you want a cigar?
Do you want me to smoke with you, Josh?
No, I don't. Not anymore.
Okay.
Not
anymore.
now if you're
Not
gonna act
anymore.
like that.
Not anymore. Not anymore. I don't even want to talk about my cigar. So
No,
I
you
have-
gotta talk
today
about
I'm
that, bro.
smoking Arturo Fuente Opus X, like I always do. The 20th anniversary. This is a blue label, some people call it. This was released on the 20th year that Arturo Fuente was in business. So this came out in...
1943.
I think no. I think it was. I don't even know if that's actually correct because I think they got released in like 2017 or 18, and I know Fuente's been around longer than that, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
Hey,
All
we're
right, well,
wrong with it.
Tell me where I'm wrong.
That's it.
For the one listener
Leave
that
a
smokes
comment.
cigar, well, the one listener that smokes cigars is sitting here, so I don't know who's going to give a shit about this, but
Just like your weekend.
just like my weekend, just high risk. That's what I'm smoking today. Not bad.
Okay.
Not bad. Tough cigar to find, but not bad.
It doesn't taste like barn.
No, and the truth is, I don't normally smoke this cigar because it's generally not that good.
Really?
Everybody thinks that because it's expensive or they're hard to find that they're super. It's not that great. One of the Vitolas is dog shit. It comes unraveled every single time you smoke it. I've got one left. This one in particular is okay, but there's another size. I think it's called Father and Son, and it's a long tapered torpedo shape. That one tastes pretty good. And then the Lancero, as we've discussed numerous times about why Lanceros taste so good, the blue Lancero is one of the best Lanceros around. So that one's good. But enough about my cigars. Anything else going on locally that we're going to talk about before we
not
get
really.
into some really interesting stuff? To tell you the truth,
Yeah. I got a new ride.
You got a new ride?
Well, I didn't. My wife did.
What you buy?
She got a GLE 450 Benz.
Nice.
Not an E. C.
No, I'm pretty sure it's an E.
He's the smaller one. She got the GL. Maybe, all right, you're right. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm
That's
talking
all
about.
right. It's the
it's nice.
bigger motor in it. But
Yeah, you got the big motor. It's
Yeah.
the 450, not the 350.
Yeah, the 450, not the
Yeah, it's
350.
Nice.
But yeah, it's a pretty nice car.
Anyway, so Shane, you've been listening for a little while to our show. We see each other often. We smoke cigars together with your dad and our friends, and every once in a while we get to talk to you about work. You know, when we get to see you because you're either working or sometimes you're sleeping when we're together because you're working that first responder shift. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey with chasing down that red badge, and then maybe get into like where you're at, and then we'll start talking about some other stuff. But yeah, tell us kind of how it all started for you.
Sure. Yeah. So how it all started, you guys obviously know my family pretty well growing up.
Yeah.
But for those of you who don't, majority of my entire family is all first responders. So my father was law enforcement for 25 plus years. My uncle was a firefighter for LA County for 35 years. And my grandfather was LA County Fire as well for 20 plus year career as well. So growing up around, fire engines and police cars and listening to sirens and radios was a normal for me. And, just growing up, I always saw them, whether it was be at work or, seeing pictures and hearing stories about what they did for a living and, a crazy call they went on or some experience. And I always was drawn to that. And my mom always jokes all the time. She goes, when I was younger, she goes, I knew at some point you're going to have a job that's going to have a siren on the top of your car and you're going to be wearing the same, like a uniform every single day. Like that, I just knew that was going to be you. I can't sit in an office. I can't do anything else. So the journey for me started when I was about 16, I believe. I started as an explorer with LA County Fire up at Station 106 in Palos Verdes.
Oh, no shit.
That was when
didn't know
Shane was
that.
in shape, everybody, because I was wrestling coach.
Yes.
I didn't know you were up there.
Yeah,
Do me a favor,
a lot better shape.
Turn your mic just down like this. Just turn
Down?
it because it's blocking your face. I just
There
want
we
them
go.
to see that beautiful fucking
I
fireman
know. Thank
mustache you got going.
Thank you.
All right, go for it.
So 16, I started as an explorer with LA County Fire. Did that for about 2 years. I would obviously take some time off during wrestling seasons and baseball seasons because weekends would be the only time they would have meetings, and a meeting would just be about 4 hours, and we have to do uniform inspection, make sure your boots are shined, make sure your uniform is pressed and ready.
It's almost like Academy, a little bit of small, shrunk
It's
down
similar.
version.
It's just a taste. Making sure kids growing up like, hey, I have an idea that I want to be a firefighter. This is a good opportunity. It's free. All you have to do is just pay for a uniform, and even if you can't, they'll help you out. There's a lot of scholarships that come from it too. So I started doing that. Every weekend that I was available, I was going up to Station 106. Every weekend was different. One weekend we're going over how to tie ropes and knots. Next weekend we're throwing a ladder on a building. We're pulling hose from a fire engine. And it's giving us just that exposure of like, hey, is this something you would want to do?
Did they like haze you and make you clean the engines and shit? Or was that reserved for the rookies?
That wasn't necessarily a haze. It was more of an unwritten standard where you help out where you can, whether that be mopping, cleaning, wiping down the engines. And it wasn't, they never hazed us for it. It was just, hey, we're going to prep you because when you are a firefighter and you're on probation, this is part of your job.
That's right.
And
they're
so-
kids, so they're probably, they're looking after them more than anything.
Right.
Yeah, they'll haze you when you're a rookie.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I used the wrong word, but I thought maybe they'd make them do some of the like rookie stuff that, like not menial stuff, but maybe a little things around. But I don't think they want to turn the kids off, so they probably
No,
like
yeah,
that,
you're
right?
right.
You know,
Yeah.
No,
they
and,
don't want
and
to do that.
the advisors, I believe is what the term is called, is a firefighter at that station was an advisor. So he kind of runs the program, and we have senior explorers and we have junior explorers. And the senior guys, they're closer in age of like 18, 19, 20 years old. I think you age out at 21.
Is it that old?
I think so.
I think at police it might be a little younger, but I don't know.
Because I know with police it's younger because they have cadets and explorers, and I know there's a difference between the two, but I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah.
But I believe with LA County Fire, it was age at 21, you age out, you cannot attend any more meetings. So you had guys who, when I was a freshman, sophomore in high school now, compared to, these guys are getting out of high school now, starting to work as EMTs or, applying to actual departments, helping us out and showing us the ropes of like, hey, this is kind of a path you want to take. So I started doing that. And then from there, it was always, in the back of my head, I've always like, what can I do to prep myself better for?
I want to be a fireman.
Exactly. Yeah. So, going through high school, played sports,
Bought a
wrestling.
Dalmatian.
Did not buy a Dalmatian. No.
They don't do that anymore, huh? I feel like I don't see Dalmatians.
Do they have dogs on fire at firehouses?
So, to my knowledge, not so much out here on the West Coast.
Okay.
The firehouse dogs are transitioned. They're actually therapy dogs now that they have.
Oh, Jesus
so
Christ.
a lot of like emotional support.
Me too, here we go.
Christ. Oh my God! That everybody registers their
Fucking all
goddamn.
about my feelings, goddammit.
My dog on the airplane, so it keeps me fucking. Oh, shut the fuck! Leave your dog at home, and if you can't leave your fucking dog at home, your dog has a problem, and you should just let it run wild. Let
This
Darwin
isn't
take
someone's
care of it.
personal dog.
Look,
The
dude,
department owns it.
Oh, the
Yeah.
department owns
The
it?
department
But it's an
owns it and trains
emotional.
it.
Okay.
And it's a peer support dog for, if you run a call that, maybe a kid died or, one of your
a
buddies
way to
got
make
hurt.
me fucking feel bad. Shane.
Yeah, good job,
Thanks.
Josh.
Thanks. Fucking dick.
Hey, know the facts.
You want to insert this shoe next?
So that's what the dog is for is guys who are going through rough times, mentally, psychologically, and then also major incidents where emotions may be high. They will implement a dog like that.
Okay.
But they don't have a firehouse dog necessarily. The history behind that is why they had Dalmatians was when they used to have horse and carriage pulling the fire engine back in the day. The dogs would then run up beside them, helping clear out people, as
Okay.
well as they would also
Oh.
be a guard dog for that horse and the pumper that they pulled behind them. So it was a guard dog. It had a purpose for that.
That's
It wasn't
cool.
Gotcha.
Not an emotional fucking support dog.
No.
So I stick by my fucking statement.
so.
Leave your
That
dog
was the
at
history
home.
behind it. And then Dalmatians have like their natural instinct is a very protective dog for that, and they could be aggressive in that sense.
Okay.
But it's basically to keep people away from the scene. That's why they had Dalmatians way back in the day.
Gotcha.
Okay. That's cool story.
So back to my story now,
Yeah,
Josh.
but that
about
was
that.
a great party. Your own. I learned something new.
So, going through high school, in the back of my mind, I always wanted to be either a cop or a fireman. I knew something of the two was going to happen, and my dad, being the cop in the family, was like, "Go be a fucking fireman."
Yeah, right.
Like, don't be a cop.
Yeah.
Go be a fireman. Everyone loves firemen. So, like
Hey,
okay.
nobody loves a Dahlmeier, so go and try to be a fireman.
Yeah. So I was like, okay. So I put all my eggs in that basket, and after I graduated high school, we graduated in June. I even remember my senior year or junior year, I had to take a science class, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take anatomy, which is harder instead of I think it was biology or chem. I'm not sure, because I'm like, I want to study the body better because I know I'm gonna have to be an EMT one day. I'm gonna have to be a paramedic one day. And at 16 or 17, let me see if I could start building a foundation here. So even like taking a high school class was in the back of my mind, like, you know what, maybe this would help me down the road, and it
Okay.
did.
Nice,
Good.
man. Good
Yeah.
thinking.
So
I didn't even know you were thinking like that back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, I wasn't thinking like that.
yeah, and so after I graduated high school, we graduated in June. I enrolled at El Camino College. I got a sweatshirt from there too.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
did.
Don't worry.
Yeah, we were talking about you.
I didn't
got
get one.
accepted.
I didn't get one from my dad though.
No, well, I mean, you didn't. Did you commit? You committed. You
I
went
committed
there.
to El Camino. Yeah. So I went there as a verbal commitment, did the hat and everything.
Oh, you did like Harbor or Elko? Like which
Yeah,
hat did you
exactly.
grab? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Was Scrock in the mix?
it was UCLA and
Oh, it was UCLA? I didn't
yeah,
know.
up Crenshaw, left on Artesia.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Harbor. Also known
So-
as Harvard.
So went to El Camino Community College after high school. I studied fire technology and emergency medicine. So it's a very fancy term for, hey, this is how fire works.
Okay.
This is, your intro to Fire Tech 1.
It's hot and it burns.
You know what? Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
Confucius say
Put the-
fire hot.
Put the wet stuff on the red stuff, right? So, you're learning about the chemistry behind fire, how it burns, why it burns. And then you also learn, building and construction. So a big part of firefighting, and I'm not a firefighter, by the way, this is just what I've learned.
Right.
Is a big part of firefighting is, knowing what building you're going into and what's the fail points.
Yeah, because hey, if
so
you
they
go,
teach you,
we go.
Yeah.
So you better fucking know.
So they teach you a lot about that. Different classes. I think there was about 8 classes you had to take. And it went through like firehouse management. So I'm like, okay, I'm taking all these classes. And then the first class I took was my EMT class. It was an 8-week program at El Camino. And I'm like, I knew I had to get that done right away. Like, so I want to start working on an ambulance and start doing my thing and start, building a resume. So when I go take a test or take an interview, I have something on there other than like I played high school baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, started doing that. So I took my EMT class, was done in 2 months. With how to become an EMT, you have to go through school. With an EMT class, it's different than a normal class where you have to pass with a B. You cannot have a C grade and pass, because you don't want a C plus medic or EMT out there.
Yeah.
You want a guy who just knows what he's talking about and competent enough. So we started with about 32 and only 6 graduated.
Wow.
Damn.
And at the time, that was the hardest class I've ever taken in my
You
life.
sure this isn't Navy SEALs?
Yeah, I was Buzz class 140. Yeah. EMT class 142.
Only 6 of us.
Yeah. So 6 of us graduated. One of my good buddies, he's now a fireman out in Colorado, was in that class with me, and he was also an explorer with me at LA County too. So we went through that, and then now once you've passed your class, they say congrats. You could then now have to take a national registry exam. So the national registry is a standardized test across the whole nation that you have to take in order for you to work in any of the 50 states. And you have to have that first before you work as an EMT. So take the test, I pass, and then now you have to go get state accredited. So I have to go through the state of California EMS agency to get accredited, so now I can work in California. And that, go ahead.
And just
Because they need their share of revenue.
Right.
Yeah. But to be clear, just so I know, and whatever the listeners are learning too, is that EMT is like the baseline first step into first responding in that course. It's not a police force first responder. We're talking paramedic, fire department, EMT, EMS,
Yes.
all of that. This is the base first step in. So these are the guys that we see on the McCormick van.
Yes.
And the whatever the other ones are. I forgot the other ones' names, but that's the entry level.
Yes.
For first responding.
So to be a firefighter, to be on an ambulance, you at minimum have to have an EMT license across the board, at least in this state of California. Mm-hmm. Other states do differ, but some departments, like smaller departments, they require you to be a paramedic, which is a step above. But for the most part, to start getting your foot in the door in the process of this, you have to have an EMT. So I passed my national, I go submit my paperwork with the state, and then I have to go get county accredited too. So LA County has to get their piece of the pie.
Damn.
So take that, all these tests, submit all these paperwork. I get my little gray card in the mail that says I'm an EMT. And then now that I have that, I could start applying to ambulance companies, fire departments, and start working in that aspect.
Yeah.
And how long were you an EMT?
I was an EMT. I was graduated high school in June. I was on an ambulance in October.
And how long were you an EMT for?
I was an EMT for, 2018. So 3 years. 3 years and some change.
Okay. So here's my biggest thing from an outside perspective about the EMT thing, because there was you, Willett did it, and a few others.
We know quite a few kids.
Yeah, quite a few kids that
got
done it.
in.
But you get paid shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't get paid anything, and you're taking somebody who's medically impaired to a hospital and supposed to be making sure that they don't die on the route.
To me, it's
and
an emergency
driving
doctor.
Yeah,
It's an ER, damn near, dude.
or a nurse at least, bro.
Yeah, I
So-
agree.
You do not have to be that smart to be an EMT.
All right, here it is. Here's the truth.
So the emergency doctor or nurse, like, that's a lot of credit there. Now,
Well, coming from me, I don't know shit. I get shot, stick your finger in it until we get to the hospital, I guess. I don't know.
but I will say, yeah, the pay for EMTs and paramedics is not where it should be, and that's been a decades long conversation that hasn't changed.
Okay.
Are you guys unionized? EMTs, EMS?
So where
Am
I
I
work,
using the
where-
terms right? Is
where-
EMS also?
EMS is a field.
Services.
It's emergency
Okay.
medical services.
Okay.
So that includes the paramedics, that includes EMTs,
Okay.
some nurses, that includes like ambulances, privately owned, typically,
medical, emergency
air
service.
flights, things like that.
Okay.
But EMTs and paramedics as a whole completely underpaid, and that's been going on for a long time.
But is there a union for?
It depends on where you work. So where I work now, I work for AMR, which is American Medical Response, which is the largest ambulance company in the nation and in the world. And we work in Riverside County, and Riverside County is its own department, if you will. So we do have a union where I work. So I am unionized. And
Okay, so you're not a fireman.
no,
Not
I'm a
yet.
paramedic.
Not yet.
You're a paramedic
Yes.
for an outside entity that's
Yes.
not. Okay.
So
I didn't even know that was a thing either.
What's
Yeah.
cool? I mean, I know this detail because he hasn't said it yet, but I know. But he doesn't get into a little more detail on that.
Okay.
And what he's doing and what he had done previously is really cool. We'll get to it.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
I had learned that too, and I thought what he's doing now is it's even cooler and better than just standard, reach or AMR driving around our neighborhood. Like he'll get to it, but yeah.
Yeah, so I get hired at my first ambulance company at 18, and this is end of 2018. It was called American
And you
Professional.
didn't tell me you couldn't drive?
Yeah. So that's another
I've
thing.
only had 7 accidents.
So that's another thing. You have to actually go take a test at the DMV
Oh,
and get an
what?
ambulance driver's license.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's another test and another money you have to shell out. But and all of this is
Federal,
like, okay, you're about
state, local DMV.
yeah.
Fucking DMV.
So all of this stuff is about, maybe $2,000 worth of schooling and fees and tests and whatnot. And my first job, I was making, I think, $12.75 an hour in
Are you
2018.
fucking
my
serious,
God.
dude? It was
Yeah.
that low.
Yeah,
That's
which
was that minimum,
I
man?
was happy because I was 18 living at home.
Yeah, I
and
guess,
that was
yeah.
awesome to me. But in retrospect, that was horrible money.
Yeah.
No, dude. I mean, that's not. I guess it had to have been minimum wage at that
Yeah,
point.
it was
in time.
minimum wage. EMTs typically make minimum wage, if not just slightly above.
Just above. Yeah.
Yes.
What's minimum right now? Do you guys know?
I have no idea.
I know it's different for
it's
different
25
sizes.
bucks or $25 if you're in LA City.
But that's with
But
like
out-
100 employees or more or something. It's different rules for
Oh yeah,
smaller
you're right.
companies.
Yeah. I don't really know what the hell
Anyway.
it is, to be honest with you.
So-
Nobody that works for me gets paid minimum wage.
Yeah, and I don't pay minimum here, so
So
who the hell can live on that?
So I get hired. It's called American Professional Ambulance. It was a IFT, interfacility transport ambulance. So we were not running 911 calls. We were running mostly from like nursing homes, convalescent homes, to emergency rooms. Every now and then we would transfer from one hospital to another because of someone's diagnosis or
It's
insurance.
More like transport services.
Yeah,
as
so it was
opposed
a
to-
non-emergency transport. We're not going lights and sirens unless something bad happens en route.
Gotcha.
So I did that because I was still going to school at El Camino, and that worked with my schedule the best. And I did that for about a year. And then when I was 19,
What city were you in for that?
so we were stationed out of Carson, right there on 223rd and Wilmington, right by the refinery. And then where I was mostly working was in like Linwood, Southgate, South Central. We were deployed out throughout the whole
I was gonna say
county.
that your base was over here, but
Yeah.
your
So
coverage
that
area.
company had 2 stations, 2 bases. One was in Carson, one was in Van Nuys. So anything north of Hollywood, that Van Nuys station would handle. Anything south of Hollywood, we would handle for the county.
Give me a good example of something bare bones, boring as hell that you did during your stay at that company.
So, like boring calls.
The most boring thing you
Okay.
can think of that you did.
So, I would say, and it happened very often, is
There's a cat in my tree.
we would get called out for a nursing home, and we would show up, and it's for abnormal labs. Okay. So you show up, and they have a sheet of all their lab paperwork of like what their hemoglobin is, their potassium, magnesium, all that fun stuff, right? And meanwhile, we weren't taught that, so I have no idea how to read this thing either. But the cool thing is that they say this is what the number of their levels are, and then this is where it
Where it
should
should be, yeah.
So I could put 2 and 2 together and do that.
Yeah.
I got
And-
a Torrance education.
It's
I can
and-
I can
Yeah.
compare. That's a big difference.
And so we would get called out constantly for that. And the person, by the way, who's sitting at this nursing home or convalescent home, who is in no distress whatsoever, is now, we are like, okay, you have to go to the hospital now to get checked out because your labs are abnormal that they took 2 days ago.
Oh, fuck.
And so then we would then transport that person to a hospital. And then we would sit there, and because we're not emergent and we're in the ER, we would sit there for 4 or 5 plus hours.
You're just an Uber.
Yeah, exactly. We were a very expensive Uber.
Yeah.
And so we were doing that constantly. Another boring one was a G-tube displacement. So a G-tube is a feeding tube. Feeding tube in your stomach.
Okay.
And it gets displaced, or if they get pulled and they need to replace it, many times we come out to that. Again, this is not an emergency. You know, there's not going to be eating, right? Which it needs to be addressed.
Yes. It's an emergency after a week.
Right. So we'd go to the hospital with that, and 9 out of 10 times we would sit there on the gurney for 6 hours at the ER, and they would put the G-tube back in on our gurney, take an x-ray to make sure it's in place, and then send us back. And the person never got a hospital bed.
You should have just showed up and spit on that thing and jammed it back in there.
You know
Because
what?
literally that's what it would take, is just like not even an RN, an LVN could have literally went to that facility, redone it, and been over with.
Right.
And the cost would have been a tenth.
Yeah.
Give me your best story from that stint. And I used best as a loose term.
So the best story from that stint was we get called out to another convalescent home, and we show up, and the chief complaint was scrotum pain.
Okay.
And we're like, okay. Like, cool. We have to visualize it to treat it
on the ground. It's a little
and
raw.
so
Did you grab him from his knees and pull him back up for him?
no. So
Tie in a bow.
what happened was, he had a large prostate and he was having pain upon urinating, right? And we get there, and of course, at this point, I was an FTO, a field training officer for a new hire, and so I was like, "Hey, new guy, you gotta go check it out."
Check that out.
Feel around right here. We're
So-
borders of love.
So what happened was, this guy's scrotum was swollen to the size bigger than a softball.
No way.
Oh shit!
Yikes,
Big
bro.
ball
And-
McKenzie.
Yikes,
Yes.
bro. Poor old
And
guy.
I've never seen a ball sack that big before, and unfortunately, I've seen a lot of ball sacks in my line of work, and I've never seen one that big. It was impressive, and so I would say, yeah.
Did he walk with a limp?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
he didn't walk with a limp. He waddled.
Yeah, for whom
And
the
then-
bell tolls,
I don't blame
babies,
him, bro.
ring
And
the
when
time
we-
bell.
Waddling too. One of mine was.
Dude.
When we put him on our gurney, we had to have his legs hang off the side of him because he couldn't put his feet together. It was too painful.
Oh
Damn,
man.
bro.
So-
Feel bad for the guy.
Oh, I
Side
felt
note,
terrible.
real quick before we go on. Just something to look forward to, guys. I'll never forget when I learned that the older you get, your balls drop. So, like, literally, your balls are in front, but as you get older, they drop down and they hang between your thighs. And eventually, they can hang so much that you sit on your balls when you go
my
to sit
God.
down. And I'll never forget when I learned this. I was at the docks with some fishing buddies, and there was an old timer on the boat. He had a boat next across from the guys I was hanging with, and I was saying something about learning that. And he goes, "Oh hell yeah, it happened to me last week. Most painful thing ever." So I'm sorry. Back to your story.
I don't know if
Shane.
that's ever going to happen to me. I got a long way to go for that.
But that was, the first thing that comes to mind there. There's with this job, there's so many funny stories, and it's just constant comedy at some point. At minimum, entertainment.
So the rest of
because
the night it's all ball jokes.
yeah, the rest of the night it's all ball jokes because that's all we could. You can't get it out of our heads now.
It's a train wreck. Can't
Yeah.
look away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Can't look
exactly.
away. Gotta
So,
see this.
and that's still like
You're
not even.
tossing the cantaloupe. Hey, buddy.
And that's still not like the funniest that's ever happened during that stint, but that was like the most. I was like most impressed of like I've never seen anything like that. To this day, I haven't seen anything like that again. But yeah,
All right.
Okay, so now you've done your stint over there.
so I was there for about a year. I was 19. I was ready because I was done with college. I did all my fire tech classes, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna start working on just focusing on my work and building a resume that way. At this point, I think I may have applied to one department because you have to wait for them to open up. It's not just constantly they're hiring. You know, they go through stages where like, hey, we're gonna be open for a month. Put in an application. So I think I've maybe applied to one department and failed the test because I've never taken one before. So I was like,
That's
okay,
standard from what I understand.
Right.
Like these, and what's that test called?
So there's two. It's an NTN, National Testing Network, and the FCTC, which is the Firefighter Candidate Training Center, where it's basically it's an SAT. There's hardly ever any questions regarding firefighting in general. It's mostly like, can you read, can you write, can you comprehend, can you do basic math and problem solving?
Okay.
So
Jack and Jill are 4 buckets of water.
yes.
Okay.
So the fire engine is traveling at 50 miles an hour, and fire engine number 2 is traveling at 40 miles
But
an
if
hour.
the fire engine gets on the 110 at 3 p.m., what time
Right.
is it getting to downtown? Because
Right.
there's a Dodger game tonight at 7, and
Yeah. So it's just a test like that, and I haven't taken a test since the SATs in like a year or two. So I'm like, okay. So I took the test, failed it, and they're like, okay, thank you, but no thank you. So I'm like, okay, well, I need to start prepping myself. This is not good experience as an EMT working here.
sorry, I meant like I didn't want to downplay like the SAT part of it. Saying I understand that it's common for people to fail the agility version of it. Or what's that?
That test is called the CPAT.
The CPAT test.
so
That's what I was thinking.
The candidate physical agility test. So that is a physical agility test that is widely accepted for most departments that you need to have. It expires every year, so you have to retake it. And then there's a second one called a BIDL. So the BIDL is a lot harder. But there's some departments that now they want a harder test because they want a candidate that was in better shape.
Yeah.
So
those tests really are just kind of gauging your agility as opposed to like you're knowing what you're doing while you're doing it.
Correct.
It's simple stuff.
very simple stuff. So the CPAT is you have to hop on a treadmill. You have 75 pounds on you. And you have to, or sorry, not a treadmill, a Stairmaster. And you have to walk on a Stairmaster for 3 minutes without stopping or touching the rails.
And it's pretty slow moving.
1 step per second.
Yeah. So it's not a jog, but it's not a.
You're moving.
You're
You're
moving.
not taking your time. You're moving. And you get one warning. And if you touch the rail again or you eat shit, like you fail. So then they take the 25 pounds off. Now you have 50 pounds on you, and you have to go then drag a hose that's charged, drag a hose that's not charged.
Like
you
a
have
certain
to,
amount of feet, like 100 feet or 50 feet or
yeah, I forgot
it.
exactly what it is. And then you have to raise a ladder, take down the ladder. You have to pick up 2 chainsaws, walk it, 20 yards and back. You have to then crawl through a confined space that's 0 visibility.
And all of
And-
this, they tell you to walk.
Yes.
There's no
Yeah, you
urgency
cannot
to
run
anything.
You cannot run in between the
Stations.
stations.
Yeah, they're like, no, you are to walk for everything. Because I had a few buddies when we were younger take these tests, and I actually went to one and kind of watched them.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was describing it, I'm like, yeah, all that stuff sounds pretty simple for the most part. I mean, even if you're doing it all in succession for 25 minutes or whatever, it's walking.
You have to
It's-
do that whole test in 10 minutes.
Yeah, so in 10 minutes
Yeah.
you're getting it done, and it's a good amount of exercise, but it's not like overly strenuous.
No, the hardest part is the first part. Walking upstairs with 75 pounds on you with your body weight.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And
they
not
want to burn your
stopping.
energy right up front.
Because there's no platforms. You're on a Stairmaster.
Yeah.
So you're not even having a rest. So that's the hardest part. If you can get through that, most likely you're going to get through the rest of the test. And if you still have some gas left in the tank from that, you're most likely passing.
And they have one where you have to gear up, helmet,
Yeah.
mask on, tank, and crawl through this tiny tube, like an inflatable tube, in the pitch black dark.
Yep.
And it's kind of, doesn't it weave a little? It's not just a straight thing.
So that's on the CPAT. You have a 50-pound vest. You have like a hard hat and like work gloves, and you have to crawl through. It's like a horseshoe shaped tunnel that they have obstacles in there that you have to crawl over, under, 0 visibility, and you have to work your way through that. So however long it takes you to get through that until you go to the next station.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a bunch of different tests that every department's a little different that you need to have. But you just have to look up what they need.
But I thought that you had failed that part. So I was like, it's common that people fail that portion.
I have failed that, yes, but I have.
In addition to Josh.
Yeah, but thanks. But
Get to it, dickhead.
Yeah, so I have.
Whose story is it, Josh?
Yeah, I have failed that before, but no. At this point, it was a written test I was talking about.
Yeah.
It was a written test that I did not pass. So I was like kind of discouraged, and I was like, you know what? I need to start building a resume. I want to get myself ready to be a firefighter better. And so I applied to Long Beach Fire Department as a ambulance operator. So an ambulance operator is, Torrance Fire has them as well. This is before Torrance started their own program.
Okay.
You're an EMT. You work for the fire department in the firehouse. The patch on your arm and on your badge, it says Long Beach Fire, but I am not a firefighter. I am strictly running medical aids as an EMT, so I'm running basic life support.
You're playing dress up.
Well, you know what? But truthfully, I think that is by far the coolest thing that someone who's an EMT can do, because most of them want to be firemen. I mean, there are people out there that just want to end up being ambulance drivers, so to speak. Not to downplay that. No, I mean,
no, there is.
You have a lot of people that just want to do that.
Majority of people use being an EMT as a stepping stone, but there are people out there that make a living on it, and that's all they want to do.
Okay.
And kudos to them. Right, that's what they already achieved their dream, and that's what they're doing. That's awesome. As long as you can make a living on it, right?
Yeah, that's
and
rough.
for those who want to be firemen, like, you want to be in the firehouse. So getting that next step and getting a job in the firehouse and being able to see it and getting those guys to know you, I think is really cool. And I thought that was cool when you got that first one in Long Beach.
Yeah. So I got hired there at, I think it was 19 or 20 at the time. I think by the time I got hired, I was 20. And I was like one of the youngest guys in my academy class, because I was like, you know what, I don't care how young I am, I'm just going to throw myself in the fire and figure it out.
Nice.
And Long Beach Fire is a very busy department, very hardcore department. I have a lot of respect for those guys because every year they're putting up numbers that are rivaling like FDNY, Chicago Fire, like these bigger, busier cities. Long Beach is up there with them.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Well, I mean, Long Beach is a huge city.
Long Beach is big, and we got a lot going on there. A lot of different dynamic people living there.
Yeah, it's 50 square miles of 2 million people in there, or 500,000 people in there, and you're only having 4 ambulances that are BLS and 9 that are ALS. So do the math there. However many thousand people per one ambulance that you're running on.
What's BLS and ALS?
So BLS is basic life support, which is an EMT. And then ALS is advanced life support, which is a paramedic or above.
Okay.
So the difference between them, EMTs, for example, they can give you oxygen, they can do CPR, they can help assist you with some medications, but they cannot administer the medication. And so if say you have an inhaler, like they can assist you in using it, but they do not carry albuterol on them. So you're very limited. You can do, obviously wound treatment and things of that nature. But advanced life support as a paramedic, that's when you start to do more like, for lack of better terms, the cooler stuff.
Okay.
So, I'm starting IVs on people, I'm intubating them, I'm giving them medications, a lot of different interventions that I now can do as a paramedic to help a person better.
Yeah.
That's in more severe of a distress, whether that be medically or traumatically.
Did we skip the part where you said you went to paramedic school? Did I
Not
miss
yet.
that?
I haven't got there yet.
Oh, okay. Well,
He's ramping up.
Well, 'cause he was saying
he's already
he was-
sticking people with needles, and he's not even paramedic.
I was gonna say,
school
like,
yet.
wait, you didn't tell everybody you
He
were a
was a
paramedic.
child
Well,
genius. We just didn't know it.
Fucking Doogie Howser over here.
You asked me a question about ALS and BLS.
I'm sorry.
So
I'll let you continue.
At this point,
It's his story, John.
I got hired at
Jeez.
I got hired at Long Beach, and immediately I was like, I'm not used to this. These guys are a different breed. Just their mentality and the confidence that the firemen carry. I was like, not ready for that.
Hey, thank you, Long Beach Fire, for what you do.
Yeah,
Thank you.
straight up.
And, mad respect for those guys. I still talk to a lot of the guys that I've worked with there. And 2 of my closest friends, Zach and Ryan, shout out to them. I still see them at least once a week. I see one of my good buddies, Zach, almost every day because we work together. We formed a great bond there just over getting our asses kicked.
And another really good friend of the show, Kyle.
And Kyle.
He's a fireman at Long Beach.
Yeah, so
Oh, really?
Kyle
Know that?
Sell.
No.
Yeah.
He's a fireman.
Yeah,
Okay.
so Kyle and I were AOs together at Long Beach, and I left to go to paramedic school and then go to now work as a paramedic, and he got hired as Long Beach fireman.
Nice.
So he should be coming up pretty soon, getting off probation. So
Yeah,
congrats
probably.
to him.
Yeah.
He worked hard for that too.
Yeah, he's been wanting that for a long time, and I think a lot of us, anybody who knows Kyle, we always know what he wants to do. He ends up getting it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And proud of him for getting that
Yeah.
done. But
Started working at Long Beach, got my eyes open to a lot. I was working in like Linwood, Southgate, and all those fun areas in LA, but I wasn't dealing with the public as much compared to now I'm working with the public because people are calling 911 and we show up.
right, this is in Long Beach.
This is in Long Beach, yeah. So now I'm showing up to these houses and the good parts and the bad parts of Long Beach. A lot of different clientele that we are interacting with, and a lot of different cultures, and it's just a big melting pot in Long Beach too. There's so
Yeah.
many different cultures.
And you cover the freeways that come through there.
Yes.
If
yeah.
there's issues on
so
the freeway.
we cover the 605, the 405, and the 710. And if
710.
you want to include the 103, the Terminal Island Freeway.
Yeah, I was gonna say any part of the harbor. I think an edge of the harbor, you guys probably still
Yeah,
have to
so
cover.
San Pedro, the LA port is LA City Fire. Long
Yeah.
Beach has their own port, and they cover that as
And
well.
LA serves Wilmington as well, right? Because
Yeah.
Wilmington's all port, all
Yeah.
on the side there.
And we also did mutual aid with Compton. We did mutual aid with LA County Fire, LA City Fire, Orange County Fire, because we are completely
touch 'em.
surrounded by all of them.
Yeah.
Even when we got pulled up one time to Downey. So it was a good experience there. I've had nothing but crazy stories there too.
Yeah,
but
we'll get into those.
we'll get
but
into those in a
let's get through
second.
these little-
But so I was at Long Beach for 3 years technically. So 2 years working on the floor as an AO. I went to a couple different stations, worked in the downtown, north side, east side, where I got to see a lot of different types of ways of life, I should say.
yeah. That's what I was saying. Long Beach is so big. There's so many
Yeah.
different styles
So,
of individuals there.
Like there's 20 gangs in Long Beach. There's also 50 different languages that are spoken, and 100 different nationalities there. And so you get your eyes open to a lot, and you get to understand people a lot better too, because not only are we showing up interacting with these people, we're also interacting with them on potentially their worst day of their life because they
Yeah.
called 911. So
Yeah.
we have nothing but emotions that we were receiving from them. So we see a lot of different how different people react, and different cultures react, and so that I would say opened my eyes and has well-rounded me better.
Excellent.
To now go forward and wherever I work now, I have a very good foundation of serving people from every ethnic background, religious background, and
yeah, very culturing experiences. I mean, a lot
Yes.
of people get that from traveling the world, but you can get it at home.
Get it Long
yeah,
Beach.
You can get it.
I
you
did
can
it
get
7 miles that way.
You can get it in LA, man.
But it was very humbling because I thought, as a very arrogant 20-year-old, like I thought I knew a lot, and I did not.
Right.
And it definitely shaped me as a man a lot more than if I would have stayed at that other company. And that's just as purely for my personality and how I carry myself, not even as my skills as an EMT. My skills as an EMT had to be dialed in because they hold such a high expectation. So it forced me to be a good EMT, and it
Nice.
forced me to continuously learn and continuously critique myself to make sure that I'm holding myself as well as my partner to a high standard, and he's doing the same thing to me. So great experience there. I was there for 3 years. So I was about a year and a half, maybe close to 2 years, when I felt myself getting pretty stagnant. I was getting comfortable because now I've grown into my shoes. I've learned the way of life working at Long Beach and being an EMT here. And I told myself, I need to make a change to continue progressing forward
Nice.
into my goal. So I decided to go to paramedic school. So that was a process within itself. You had to take a written test to show your basic knowledge of medicine, and emergency medicine specifically.
Okay.
Signs and symptoms of this particular case compared to another. What would you do in this situation? Mitochondria is a powerhouse of the cell. So it's just
What
a
did you
general.
say?
Exactly. It's the only thing I've learned.
Triage, and all
It's
things
the
go
only
along
thing I
with it,
remember
right?
from biology in high school is the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
It is.
But yeah, so
it's what you need the
triaging.
food for whatever's feeding that mitochondrial.
So
GLPs.
I took a
GLP-1s.
written test. I applied to, it's called OCEMT. It's a privately owned paramedic school down in Lake Forest, and I applied there. So they have both EMT schools as well as paramedic schools. So I applied there. They accepted my application. I took the test. I passed the test, and then I had to go in for an interview for the paramedic school as well. So during the interview, they ask you general knowledge questions of like, hey, do you know this medication? Which as an EMT, I should. And do you know what it's used for? Yes, I do know what it's used for. Do you know the dose? I don't know the dose, right? I'm not a paramedic, but I know this is used for this situation.
Yeah, you've been around it enough to pay attention.
They then ask you, basic questions like, why do you want to be a paramedic? And then they test you on a assessment. So they give you a scenario, and my interviewer was a retired captain from Orange County Fire. And he goes, okay, like you work for Long Beach Fire. Cool. So you get called out to the Pike down in Long Beach, and here's the scenario. And you find a guy down, laying on his face. Someone calls saying, hey, come check on him. I don't know what's wrong. So I then have to reenact or demonstrate that I could show up on scene, make a complete assessment confidently and correctly, and then have a treatment plan of like, this is what I want to do for the patient. This is where I want to go to the hospital because he meets this criteria or that criteria.
They're testing to make sure you know what questions to ask when you're walking up, not guessing while you're standing there.
That's what I would have done.
That was a test.
Hey, buddy, wake up!
You can't sleep here. You can't park here.
Yeah. So he was just wondering where my foundation was. Like, do I know what I'm talking about, or is this guy going to need a lot of work? And so, luckily enough, I passed the interview.
Nice.
I had to. With that class, I had to provide my own preceptor if I were to make it all the way towards the end when you hit field internship.
What's a preceptor?
A preceptor is a paramedic who's been a paramedic for, I think, depending on where you work, usually about a year or 2 years minimum. And all they do is they evaluate you running calls as a intern, meaning you're still a student. You're not a full sworn paramedic yet, but you've gone through school. And you're now trying to basically prove to him, hey, I could be a competent paramedic.
And you have to go find this individual?
So for that school, I had to provide my own. Typically, a paramedic school will find you placement.
It's almost like a sponsor.
Almost.
In a way. I mean, you want someone who's down to back you up, who's going to be your preceptor.
Journeyman that's going to help.
Someone who's going to vouch for you or follow you.
Because I worked for Long Beach, I've had, I made some good connections there. I told him like, okay, well, when do you need to know by? He goes, well, the interview's Friday. If you can get it to me this weekend, because Mondays we're gonna make our decisions on who's going in or out of paramedic school and who's accepted or not. So this was at like 2:00 in the afternoon.
No rush or anything.
Yeah, this is 2:00 in the afternoon on a Friday. And I'm doing this interview and I'm like, okay, well, now I need to figure it out. And so I drove from Lake Forest to Long Beach, and I walked into our Long Beach Fire headquarters off of Lakewood Boulevard, and I walk in there, and I'm like, great, this is now it's 3:30 on a Friday, and at headquarters, all there is just chiefs, high-ranking chiefs, and I'm like, I know for sure, like, the chief isn't here, right? There's got to be someone here. Hopefully they didn't go home early on a Friday. So I walk up, I ran into one of my battalion chiefs, and I was like, hey, sir, is there anyone here from the upper management that can sign and help me with this? He's like, oh, yeah, go upstairs. One assistant chief is still here. And I go, okay, cool, sweet. I've never met this man in my life, by the way. And so I run upstairs, and I'm still in my suit, and because I just had my interview with the paramedic school, and I run in, and I'm sweating, and he's like, hey, can I help you? I'm like, hey, chief, my name is Shane Dahlmeier. I'm an AO for you guys. Nice meeting you. I need your help. And he's like, okay, like, what's going on? So I just got done with my paramedic interview, and they said I need to provide a preceptor, and they said because I work for Long Beach, they have to provide it. And so is there any way you guys can host me as an intern if I pass and go through paramedic school successfully? And he's like, yeah, why not? Okay.
That was
fuck yeah.
And he goes, go downstairs, talk to, Michelle or whatever her name was, his secretary. Have her draft up something, bring it back up, I'll sign it, and you're good to go.
Sick.
I'm like, cool. So I run
Yeah,
downstairs. I'm like, hey, Michelle, never met you before. My name is Shane, AO for here. So I just talked to Chief, and he said, can you draft something up saying that you guys would host me as an intern? And she goes, okay, well, sweet. I haven't logged out yet. So she drafts something up real quick. I take it upstairs. He signs it and, shake his hand. I'm completely grateful.
Yes.
Because, this is a goal of mine. I want to be a paramedic and go to paramedic school. And this was the one thing that was possibly keeping me from it.
Yeah.
And so I called the school immediately. I was still in the parking lot of the headquarters. And I called the receptionist there. And she was like, oh, yeah, I remember you. You just left here like an hour ago. I'm like, I have it. Who do I send it to? She goes, send it to me on my email. And I remember I scanned it on my phone. I'm still in the parking lot. And I sent it to her. And I was like, don't hang up. Make sure you get it.
Yeah, exactly.
And so she's like, okay. So she stayed on the line. And I'm like, fumble fucking my phone, trying to figure out how to scan it and email it to her. And so I email it over to her. I'm like, okay, it just sent. Did you get it yet? No, not yet. Check again. Did you get it yet?
Yeah. How about now?
And so she, oh, yep, I just got it. I'm like, oh, cool, sweet, thank you.
Nice.
And so now I wait. Now I have 48 hours to wait and figure out if I'm in or not. Because on Monday they said they're going to call me or email me saying if I'm in. And thankfully on Monday.
Dude, they had to. This kid left an hour ago.
Right?
Within an hour, got it, sent it over. You're a shoe-in,
Yeah,
bro.
dude.
So, but at that point I didn't know,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You just don't
Yeah, you
know.
don't know.
And
It's
I
up to
wasn't
them.
super confident because I knew there was like a lot of firemen that are also in this class. And, now I'm just an AO. Like I'm not, they take priority over us. And so luckily I got in to OCMT class 14. And one of the things he also said was, just backtracking a little bit, a prerequisite for paramedic school is you have to have a paramedic prep class. And it's just another, gotta shell out some
Another
money.
right.
Yeah.
Take a class for 2 or I think it was 4 weeks. It's like twice a week. And so they said you could apply and interview if you're enrolled, because paramedic school doesn't start for a couple more months. And so during the interview, I'm like, hey, by the way, I'm enrolled. I'm starting next week. Whether I'm in or out, I already paid, so I'm taking this class. And he goes, okay, cool, check mark, like, sweet. Make sure you pass, because if you don't pass that class, then you can't get in. So I had that writing on me for 4 weeks. And so I passed that class. I finally got in. Turns out that they sent 14 firemen from Long Beach to OCMT. That was the first time OCMT's hosted Long Beach Fire. So that was cool. That I got to go with a bunch of coworkers of mine. And I knew majority of them from working there for a little over a year. Right. So I then had to take a leave of absence because I was unable to work full time as well as go to paramedic school full time because it's Monday through Friday. And on top of that, I'm not a great student. My mom will tell you that for my GPA. But I had to just commit completely for 8 months. This is what I'm doing, and this is only my priority. So I got in, started. I remember we used to drive to our Long Beach headquarters in the morning, and then carpool with like 3 or 4 firemen that live in the area, and we would carpool down and go to class Monday through Friday. And now at this point, that is the hardest class I've ever taken in my life.
Okay.
I learned a lot when you were going through this because we saw each other quite a bit. And one thing I don't maybe I knew, I don't know if I realized, like, paramedic school is something they have to accept you. It's not something that you can sign up for and just take.
And just
get
go.
all these other tests, all these prerequisites, which
Right.
makes fucking sense. I mean, I just never thought of it. But it's not easy. It's a long road. A lot of guys fall short on becoming a fireman. It's a very long, tough road. There's a lot into it. But what I also learned is that you got people in there that are paying to be there because they want to promote themselves and make themselves look better to either stay a paramedic for an EMT service or become a paramedic so that they're more likely to be hired on a department as a fireman, right? I mean,
Yes.
Because when they want a fireman at a department and they don't have enough or they want more, they have to pay for their firemen to go take this class. The department pays for it. So the big benefit is when you go prior and you pay for it on your own dime. Now the department, if they hire you, they've already got a paramedic. They don't have to
Right.
invest that time or money into paramedic school like they sent those other 7 guys or whatever it was.
Yeah, so the 14 firemen, the class was 33, and of the 33, I think there was 4 that were not firemen.
Oh shit.
And myself included, there was 2 Downey Fire AOs and 1 Anaheim Fire AO, and we had to pay our own way. We were not sponsored. The rest were part of Orange County Fire, Orange City Fire, Long Beach Fire, and I think there might have been another guy from a different department. I can't remember. But the department is paying all of their tuitions plus their salary, plus they're paying overtime to backfill their spot while they're in paramedic school.
Very expensive for the department, right?
So
Yeah,
if you have a paramedic certification and you're trying to be a fireman, they look at you as you don't have to invest more money into you. They're
You're an
saving.
asset.
They're
They give
saving
They get a
money.
lot more out of their money for you when
Right.
they bring you in.
So I go through paramedic school. Hardest time of my life, Monday through Friday for 4 months was didactic, so it was all classroom work. We had a block exam every 2 weeks, and essentially what they do is they take the bullet points of nursing school, and they cram it in 4 months. And at this point, we're learning about cardiology, airway management. We're learning about medications as well, traumatic injuries, and learning how to mitigate emergencies day to day. And so
Dude, ER doctor, ER nurse, credit fucking deserved, straight up. I know you said it's a stretch to say something like that, but from the rest of us, dude, I mean, when you started talking about medications being administered while you're going to schools and teaching us when we're smoking cigars, it's like, dude, I mean, that's like nursing school, straight up, right? You said
yeah,
squeeze
and
it
the
in.
cool
It
thing
really
is like we do stuff that nurses can't. There is some interventions that we do that only a doctor can, or a specialized nurse that's gone through extensive training for. Like for instance, a common nurse, an RN, cannot intubate someone.
Gotcha.
To my knowledge, at least, they cannot intubate. If you're an ICU RN or a ER or urgent care, they can't put a tube down your throat to help you breathe, but we can. We can do what's called a needle decompression, so which is essentially if your lung collapsed, we could put a needle in your chest and then reinflate it, and help relieve that air that's trapped or blood that's trapped.
Right.
So like a nurse can't do
You can
that
stick
either.
a pin through somebody's trachea and get them to breathe again.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we can do that. So
Saw that
that
on
we
Three
we
Kings.
don't do that in California, but nationally that is a skill that we learn.
Okay.
So they might be able to do that mostly like in rural
In
areas.
California, we just let people die.
No, it's the reasoning behind that.
I can't do it.
The reasoning behind that is in California, typically it's more urban in a sense where you're not 4 hours away from a hospital.
Gotcha.
Majority of the state.
Okay.
Compared to if you're in the middle of Montana, you're 4 hours from the hospital. You might have to do a more invasive procedure like that.
Gotcha.
But in California, typically you're not going to. That is a very invasive, obviously, procedure. A lot of things can go wrong, and I hope I hope I never have to do that because I'll probably fuck it up. Like they taught us like
Real talk.
They taught us for 5 minutes in that class, like, hey, you guys are all gonna be paramedics here in California, so we're gonna have to go over this, but you're never gonna do it. So we're just gonna go over it real quick. Everyone's gonna do it once, and then we're gonna sign you off.
You better start watching some YouTube channels.
But I don't have to do it. Like here in California, I'm
Hey,
like,
you
all right.
never know, bro. You
Yeah.
might be in fucking.
They might be sitting around
humble.
smoking cigars. Somebody faints, hits the ground. You never know.
I'm off duty.
Yeah, but well, not that night. Not that
So
night.
well.
Yeah.
But so I go through paramedic school. I passed my didactic by the skin on my teeth. It was the hardest thing in the world. I was not a top student. I'll hand up accountability.
Yeah.
But the experience will push you through all that.
Yes.
And so that being said, you're a paramedic.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I mean,
so now
what's
you're on the job.
What do they call the guy that graduated last in medical school? Doctor.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So
now you're on the
My doctor.
So I passed that. Then you have to go through clinicals, and your clinical rotation is at an ER. Some schools will send you to a OR or a cadaver lab, and you're practicing intubations, different things like that. For me, I was in an ER at a trauma center at St. Mary's in downtown Long Beach, which is pretty cool because that's where I worked. I already knew a lot of the nursing staff there from bringing in patients. So that's where you essentially learn your IV skills. You're a nurse's assistant, essentially. They ask you to, hey, can you start a line on this person in this bed? Hey, can you give this medication? Can you draw blood?
You're in house the whole time, right?
Yeah. So I'm not here. I'm in tennis shoes, but I'm still in uniform, and I'm just in the ER walking around sticking people with IVs.
Okay.
And that's essentially what you get out of your clinical rotation. They have talked about getting away from that and extending the next part, which is your field internship, because there's not a lot of paramedics that are in a clinical setting inside of a hospital.
I feel like my hot take on that is that I wouldn't want them to get rid of something like that, because while you're learning, you're at the hospital in maybe emergency or semi non-emergency situations, and there are a lot of qualified professionals nearby that can take over if something goes awry, right? But if you're on a call, it's really an emergency situation, and when you're not able to perform, that person may not make it for whatever. I'm going extreme,
Right.
But I feel like the
I get what
clinical
you're
side,
saying.
I feel like it's better, it's smarter, but maybe I'm wrong.
I get what you're saying. You're essentially building your fundamentals as like your very finite skills of, starting an IV. You might get lucky and you intubate a person. I was fortunate enough that I was able to intubate this person in a controlled environment first.
Right.
And found success.
Success.
Yeah.
Yep, I did
that's
that.
the point, like a controlled environment. It's to mitigate that risk while you learn.
And so I did that, and you have to really screw up to fail clinicals. You have to do a complete med error, or you have to kill somebody. It's very hard to fail clinicals. As long as you show up, do what you're told, and you'll be successful. And so I passed that. Then I was signed off to now start my field internship, and that's where you make or break it as a paramedic student. Is you now take all of the knowledge that you've learned in school, the skills that you've practiced in the ER, and now you're applying it in real life. So I got assigned to Fire Station 18, Rescue 18 ambulance at Long Beach Fire. And so I was assigned to an ambulance that had 2 firefighter paramedics. One of them was my preceptor, so he's in charge of evaluating me for everything. From my initial walking in and doing my generalized assessment, asking questions, to then, doing my skills, making sure I know my protocols, making sure I know my medications, testing me throughout the day, making me do drills in front of the whole crew, saying, hey, my name is Shane. I'm going to talk to you guys about trauma today. And I give a whole spiel about, different types of emergencies to make sure I'm proving to them that I'm dialed in on what I know. And, I fuck them up, right? You're learning, and they were luckily enough, I had a really good preceptor to where he took time to figure out, like, okay, how's the best way to teach this kid? Because I had my ups and downs, and he helped me out a lot, and I credit him a lot to helping me through that process and getting me successful to where I'm building a foundation of who I am now as a paramedic.
Right.
What was his name?
His name's Dan Washburn.
All right,
Dan.
Dan.
Good looking out, Dan.
Yeah, thanks,
Yeah.
Dan.
So I go through my field internship. It was 24 shifts, 24-hour shifts. And so during that time, I responded to a lot of different calls. I got to do, a lot of bullshit. When I say bullshit, is, like toe pain for a month, right? We show up to those.
Got gout. Stop eating red meat.
Right. And
No shellfish.
but you're still being evaluated, right? No matter how severe it is. And then I had a lot of good experience there where, I've had strokes, I had a heart attack, I had, an arrhythmia, meaning your heart rate was too fast and had to slow it down with a medication. I had a couple of cardiac arrests where I had to, quarterback the whole thing and do my skills and, try to, bring this person back. So it was a very good internship. I got a lot of good experience and a good foundation. I was successful and passed that. So same thing going back in time now. You have to go take a national registry.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Money grab.
You have to go then get state accredited, county accredited. And so I passed my national registry on the second attempt. So I did not pass it the first time, which stressed me out. You get 3 attempts before you have to take a 12-hour refresher course. So, and I did not want to do that.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I just want to knock this thing out because I want to start working as a paramedic now. And so I passed on my second attempt, which all my friends give me shit about because they all passed in their first. Yeah.
Shane's second attempt, Dahlmeier, buddy.
Yeah.
Torrance Unified.
Hey, just like in golf, I'm a scratch golfer on the second shot.
Yeah. Any asshole can hit the
We
second
just
shot.
had the Little League. We had to pick our all-stars because I'm coaching for West for my grandkids.
Okay.
RJ, you remember who RJ is? RJ is one of the coaches now because he's got a boy over there.
Okay.
And then Brian Gallardo, do you know who that is?
No.
So they're Amber's age group from
Okay.
that time period. And they're going around the room, and I forget what it was, but they don't know the answer. Torrance education.
So you did work as an EMT at Long Beach for some period of time,
Yes.
and you go off to paramedic school, and you come back for your internship. You get clear of all that. Now you're a paramedic.
Yes.
And you had said earlier that nationally rated or statewide or whatever at Long Beach, and I use the term juicy. I use that on different avenues, and it's a juicy place to work.
Yes.
Right? I mean, so you had dealt with some cardiac arrest. I mean, these situations that you're getting put in, like you said earlier, everybody's worst day is the 911 call. Like when they call 911, it's not good. It's not like, oh, come and have dinner, right? It's the worst days of
I
their
just
life.
made dessert.
Yeah.
You know, and the joke always about the cat in the tree, the fireman has to get it out. But you had some gnarly calls, dude.
Yeah, you know, a lot of gang violence in Long Beach, where I was exposed to a lot of that, a lot of traffic accidents, a lot of different cultural emergencies as well. Like I was one of the shockers that I had when I was working at Long Beach was I was exposed to coining. I don't
To
know if
what?
you- coining.
Coining.
Have you ever heard of that?
Never heard
No.
of it.
I'm gonna butcher it. So it's either Cambodian or Vietnamese.
Okay.
I'm not sure which one because we did have a large Cambodian population in Long Beach, and essentially what it is you take boiling hot coins, you put them in boiling water, you put them on the back of a kid who is sick, and that is supposed to relieve them of their illness.
Oh my god!
and this is like
voodoo shit.
straight out of the boiling water, like no cooling.
Yes.
That's not. That's
So now you are in an ethical dilemma of, do I report this to CPS? Do I report this to is this a child abuse or is this okay? So you have to learn these things. Where I remember my captain pulled me aside and was like, "Hey, have you ever experienced this?" No. Okay, this is not your call. You talk to a social worker at the hospital, let them know what you saw. But in this culture, this is accepted, and I'm not saying you have to agree with it, but this is not your call to make, saying this is wrong or this is right. Everyone has the right to raise their kids how they want, in whatever culture or beliefs that they have. Like we always joke about, like a lot of Hispanic communities, like as soon as you walk in, the vapor rub, you're gonna smell. Right? As soon as you walk in that house, it smells like vapor rub.
Onions are in the socks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you go in a
so,
Korean house, it smells like kimchi. I had my best friend in elementary school was Korean. It smells,
yeah,
it's
and
cultural.
you go into another house and it's Tiger Bomb.
You
And
go into a 7-Eleven and it smells like Indian spices.
So it was an eye opener to a lot of different things. And yeah, I saw.
I mean, does this kid have boil like burns on
Yeah,
his back?
he had some redness burns
Yeah,
to
so
his
what did
back.
they call? Why would they call? I mean, if this is
So
part
the
of their
kid was
culture,
sick. He was having an asthma attack, and he was never diagnosed with asthma
Evidently,
before.
the coin didn't work.
Yeah.
And so they tried what they knew, and they did that, and it didn't work. So after that, they called 911 and we
Oh,
show
so
up.
they didn't necessarily call based on the trauma of the
No, they
coining.
called for the shortness of breath. And as we were there, we are now assessing, going like, "What the hell
Yeah,
is
it
going
looks like
on?"
abuse, but in their
Right.
culture, it's not. It's
Right.
solely accepted.
Damn.
That's kind of weird.
So
Not weird. It's just
that,
It
that's
is
just
weird.
interesting.
I don't care what you want to say. It's weird, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's
It's
weird. It's
voodoo
weird.
shit.
It's
Well, it's
weird
like
to us.
cupping.
It's weird to us, right? Because that's not what we grew up with, right?
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
you don't have to go to the hospital for cupping.
It's true. It's true.
So, yeah, and then also, at my time at Long Beach, just seeing the different, how do I say it, walks of life.
Okay.
Right? You have your lower income, higher income. You have a lot of homeless people.
Yeah.
And that comes with complications within itself. A lot of drugs, a lot of psychiatric issues, where you're the guy now. Like I'm the paramedic and I'm in charge right now because this person's having a medical emergency, but I have to work through whatever psychiatric episode he's having to treat him properly, to get him to a hospital.
Fucking
and
hope he doesn't swing on you or stab
Well, that's
you.
Oh,
the
that,
thing,
that-
dude.
every
Almost-
day, almost every day we got into a brawl, and it's not because we're provoking. It's because
Yeah.
They're refusing treatment.
they're refusing treatment, and it's one thing if you refuse treatment. Okay, if you don't want to go to the hospital, fine. But if you're not coherent and you cannot make decisions for yourself, we have to take implied consent that you need medical care. Or people are, they're high on meth, or they have a bad batch of, crank going out, and now people are tweaking out, fighting and, wailing a machete in the street, and we have to stand back and wait for PD to handle it and then treat him.
So wait a second. You had a call like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me more.
So we got called out to an individual. It was
Say more.
It was an individual who the call notes in our, we have a little computer in our ambulance that, hey, psychiatric emergency, male wandering the street with a machete in his hand, incoherently. And we're like, okay, great. So this is a stage call. So a stage call means we park a safe distance away from the dispatch location, and we wait for PD to show up and clear the scene for us to be. It's now safe for us to enter because we don't carry guns, we don't carry tasers.
Yeah.
So we were staging.
You don't have dogs.
We don't have dogs.
Not any Dalmatians.
No Dalmatians.
Run interference.
No. So
We need a pit bull, boys.
yeah.
This
So-
is LA.
It's Long Beach. We need a pit bull.
So we're sitting there, and of course, me and my partner are just shit talking the entire time. Like, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. Like, there's no way this guy has a machete. Like. This is like that's
not Jamaica.
This is this is like
straight up.
10 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. There's no way this guy's walking around with a machete. And like someone saw something differently because the call notes, we walk in like, oh, we think it's this call because that's what our dispatch said, and it's completely different. So it happens very often.
And I quickly want to address, I bring that up a lot in here when we talk about police calls and things, and always try to bring the conversation to what the call for service was and what the information is when they get there, because that's your state of mind when you get there.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I know it was hard to believe, but your state of mind is that he might have a machete, and even if he doesn't, but you have to think that.
Yes.
Because that's what the call is.
Yeah.
So,
for
I
sure.
mean,
Yeah,
it's,
because what if I'm wrong and I go, we're not going to stage, we're going to show up on scene, and now this guy's like standing in front of my ambulance with a
for
machete,
sure.
Yeah, exactly.
right? So PD is showing up on scene. We're seeing them hauling ass down Anaheim Boulevard, and we're like, oh, maybe this is legit. And so now we're like, okay, we got to flip the switch. Like, this could be legit. Now not only are we worried about a patient, but maybe a bystander. Maybe the police officer
Yes,
himself
right,
could be injured.
additional
We
victims
might
anyway.
have additional victims, like you said. So we're like, okay, great, all right, this has just got escalated quickly. So we got over radio, hey, clear to come in. So we show up on scene, same time as our fire engine, and this guy is on the ground with I think it was 2 taser deployments to bring him down finally.
Wow.
And cops are still wrestling with him to get him in cuffs. And we were like, I thought we got cleared in. This is not
This is not
This is
code
not
for.
safe.
yeah. I'm like, this is okay. Can I throw a saline bag at him? Like, I can't do much. So, but we both have different patches, but on the same team. So we're hopping in, trying to help him out and wrestle this guy to get him put in handcuffs and then get put
Did
on
you
our
put him in
gurney.
half Nelson?
No, I would never do
Did
that.
you put him in chicken wing?
I would never do that.
I would never.
Come on, son, I taught you that.
Yeah.
I would never do that to anybody. Peace. Right? But so yeah, and that's just one scenario of oh, this could get ugly, and we show up to calls that don't come out as that too. It just came down oh, person sleeping on the side of the road. Calling party was a passerby, wants you to check on him. We run those every day. Okay, so we show up on scene, and this guy's he's like, yeah, I want to go to the hospital. Okay, cool. Well, we get him in the back of the ambulance, and he stands up, gun falls right in front of me
Oh my god.
on the ground, and I look at it, and I look at him, and he has that oh shit look, and
Same face that you're making.
yeah,
Oh shit.
and I'm like, okay. Now it's on.
Yeah.
Right? And so partner pulls over. We get in the back. We subdue him on the gurney. I'm clearing the gun. I'm calling PD.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there, and we're waiting for police to show up. Hey, this guy had a gun.
Jeez, dude.
And so
And
it's
he
just,
didn't try to swiftly grab it.
he did. And that's why
And-
that's why when it got down.
In peace.
Yeah.
Peace.
Yes.
I would never.
I would never.
I would never.
Yes.
I'm not going to self-incriminate myself.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
So-
yeah, but not just that. You have to. This is a situation that you have to.
Yeah.
You have to get your hands dirty to make sure that you and your partner are safe.
He put you
Absolutely.
in danger.
Yeah, and there's guys where they're super chill the entire time. They're sitting on the bench, and they just freak out of nowhere, and because they have a psychiatric problem going on, or they have, they're on drugs, and they could flip a switch like that. And now it's just I'm by myself, mano y mano, trying to wrestle a guy, and to protect myself
in a moving vehicle.
That we're not seatbelted into.
Yeah, and you're not going 10 miles an hour. You're lights up on the way to
So
do you guys have like a code word back there, like it's on, shit's crazy, hummingbird.
No, because we it happens so often that the guy who's driving is always checking the rearview mirror, and so it happened often enough
it's kind of like when I'm driving the freeway.
So it happens so often that you could feel it in the air. When it's like, oh, this is about to crack off.
So, I mean, it's like a lot of the calls have been homeless or psychiatric issue additions to your call. I mean, you deal with that like majority of the time.
We handle a lot of those. I mean, and a lot of the calls we run also on the more boring sides are like falls are very common, especially the geriatric community.
Yeah.
Abdominal pain is another one, and fainting. Like those are like another, like those three are some of our most common calls that we run on. And almost every single day that we're running on someone who is having abdominal pain, someone who fell, someone who thought they passed out or was about to pass out.
And with that kind of style of call, like you've said to us in the past, like he's experienced times when he has to problem solve what's actually going on before you can do any kind of treatment. But I mean, you had a call with an older lady who had been gardening at one point. Do you remember that story about that? And she was struggling with like shortness of breath or something, but you're asking her questions. You're like, I don't understand what's going on. But she had been working in the garden and she had been spraying poison on the garden, but continued to work.
Yes.
And so she
I do remember that one.
Yeah.
She was feeling lightheaded and had respiratory issues.
She was insecticides.
Yep.
So, she had insecticide poisoning and didn't know it. But it took me a while to figure out that. And it took me like asking people on scene, like, what am I looking at here? It's like, okay, now I'm putting two and two together to help treat this person. So you have to take your paramedic hat off and you have to put your detective hat on and figure out what is the root of this problem today. Whether it be like, oh yeah, he fell. Well, he fell from 15 steps after getting hit in the head by a baseball bat. So it's not just simple as a person who fell.
Yeah.
You have to figure out,
because the person with the bat threw it over the fence and is like, I don't know what the fuck happened.
Yeah, and they're not here. They're not even.
So, and then a lot of investigation. We're medically investigating, just like when you go to a doctor's office and they ask you like, well, when did this start? How long ago did this start? What did you do for it already? We're asking those questions, as well as, you're looking around in the house going like, okay, what is my general impression of what's possibly going on? And, sometimes it's just anxiety, right? And they feel like they're going to pass out. And we have to then turn off the paramedic switch and turn on the coaching switch of like, hey, slow your breathing down. Everything's going to be okay. All we're trying to do now is calm the patient down to where they're back to close to their normal, so they can then, hey, this is anxiety. It comes in all shapes and forms.
Panic attack. You're having a panic attack.
And, you're going to be okay. And it's a lot of hand holding as well. But the first time you see it as a brand new paramedic, you're like, fuck, they're dying.
Yeah.
And so it takes that experience in a senior medic to pull you aside, go, nope, take a step back, look at the bigger picture. Because a lot of paramedics, they get tunnel visioned. And you focus on one thing because they're feeling short of breath, so I'm going to start treating for shortness of breath. But in reality, it's, they have a knife in their back, but you missed it because you were, so focused on checking their lung sounds.
Right.
So you had to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. So, back to my journey. I finished up my internship successfully. I'm now a paramedic. I'm still working at Long Beach as an AO, as an EMT still. I cannot work as a paramedic for them because that's not my job classification. So I'm like, okay, now I need to start working as a paramedic. Where can I go get applied at paramedic jobs? And I ended up getting a job with AMR out in Riverside County as they call it single function paramedic, meaning in LA and Orange County, when an ambulance shows up, they're going to have 2 firefighter paramedics, and you're working in a pair. And out in Riverside, it's a 1-in-1, meaning 1 EMT and 1 paramedic. So I'm by myself when it comes to when I'm on scene. I may be the only paramedic on scene, and I have a bunch of EMTs that I have to now direct what to do. And that's been nothing but great experience out there.
Nice.
It forces me to be a good medic because I could be the only resource there that could help this patient. Many times I've shown up on scene and the fire engine is just EMTs. There's no paramedics. And then my partner's an EMT. So I have 5 people that are all EMTs, and I'm the only paramedic now, where I have to, okay, I need you to do this. I need you to do this while I do this skill, because you guys can't do that because you're EMTs. And then I'm going to give this medication. Okay, I need help. I need you guys to come with me.
Directing firemen.
And so, out there, it's a different culture in Riverside. It's similar in San Bernardino as well. Here,
they're kissing cousins.
Maybe.
They're close.
So
tweakers out there in Moreno Valley.
I've been a medic now for 2 years. I went to paramedic school at 22, graduated at 23. I got hired out there when I was 23, just turning 24. So yeah, I'm about 2 years now and some change as a paramedic. I love it out there. It's a great job. And it's a good job. I make good money, but it's not the end goal still. I'm still pursuing
Getting in a fire department?
Getting into a fire department.
Okay.
And so while I'm working out at AMR in Riverside, they opened up a new program where they have 4 units that are in-house with Riverside City Fire. So I still work for AMR. My patch says AMR, but we're housed inside of a Riverside City Fire Station.
So it's like a very similar situation that you have in Long Beach.
So very similar. So I'm still in the firehouse. We eat there, sleep there, hang out, and we deploy to calls from there.
And do you have the same schedule, 4 on, 4 off?
So yeah, same schedule as Long Beach. So they work a modified Kelly, meaning it's every other day for 4 shifts, and then you get 4 days off.
Okay.
And then you come back every other day for 4 shifts, then you get 6 days off. So today's our first day of a 6-day. So I have 5 more days after this off, which I'm going to enjoy.
Where are you going?
Home to bed. And we got our ass kicked last night. I'm going to bed after this.
Yeah,
I'm going to Catalina, boys.
Yeah,
Hey, your boys out there, right?
you had your ass kicked last night?
Yeah,
What
we had about 4 calls after midnight, because that's all it counts. You can get ran all day, but it doesn't count till after midnight. That's our dick swinging contest to another unit. Like, well, I had 4 after midnight. Well, I had 3 after midnight.
Okay.
And it's just how much sleep you didn't get.
Right.
And when I was at Long Beach, it was like we averaged an hour of sleep in a 24-hour shift.
Damn.
And then I would work up to 96 hours straight on 4 hours in 4 days.
I'd be useless.
It's crazy. And then you're supposed to, save someone's life.
Right.
Yeah, straight up.
You'll shake the camera.
Okay.
But yeah, you got your ass kicked last night. What happened last night?
Nothing fun. So
you got your ass kicked and you're soft or what?
No, I mean, I got my ass kicked because I was tired. I didn't get any sleep. I didn't physically get my ass kicked. But
So, again, you were saying Long Beach is so juicy compared. And sometimes when we talk, you're like, you're at Riverside first, right?
So I was at Long Beach, then I went to
Riverside. So you're at Riverside. I remember you going to some calls and you're just like ultra calm and everybody's looking at you all sideways like, dude, this is like one of the gnarly calls that we get. We hardly get these, but they're intense for us. And you're like, dude, this is like, I get 5 of these a day in Long Beach.
Yeah.
So
I'll never forget my captain at Long Beach when I left and got hired at Riverside. He pulled me aside, told me, hey, proud of you, congratulations, wish you best of luck. And the one thing that stuck with me was, he goes, going forward in your career, whether you go paramedic, just being paramedic or going to be a fireman and you land, in Timbuktu Fire Department or wherever, he goes, just remember this department here has prepped you for anything they throw at you.
Yeah.
Because of how much we got our ass kicked there, essentially.
Yeah.
Of, we're high call volume, low pay, low sleep, and still having very high expectations of performance. On top of doing all of that fun stuff as an EMT, I'm also being treated as like a probationary fireman at the firehouse. So I'm doing all the dishes, make sure I'm cleaning, mopping, doing all that fun stuff, upkeeping the station as a probationary fireman would.
Should have grabbed an Explorer and made him do it.
So yeah, no, they wouldn't even let us do that because Explorers they treat them nice. They don't treat us nice. So we have all that fun stuff. So he goes, wherever you go, you're gonna get. This is prepped you. You're not gonna get overwhelmed because. We've just like when we used to wrestle at practice, like I'm gonna kick your ass during practice. So when you go and wrestle for 6 minutes on the mat, it's nothing.
Yeah,
it's the same thing there. That department was so juicy, like you said, and I've had such good experience there that I'm not saying I've seen it all. I'll probably never see it all, but I've seen a good amount to where I can carry that foundation that I built into anywhere I land and have a good understanding and not be frazzled and taken back of like, oh my God, this is crazy. I'm like, dude, this is a Tuesday.
Straight up.
And not everybody has that mental fortitude to be able to continue this kind of career. It takes certain types of individuals that are able to receive it quicker, or there are individuals that can learn how to work through these things emotionally. I mean, you guys are seeing everybody's worst, right? We said that a few times.
Yeah.
And it's not just a tough job because people's lives are in your hands, but you got to go home with these stories in your head. You know what I mean? And have you learned anything in that way? I mean, you have cultural things that you've learned. You've got other stuff. Have you had any kind of like come to Jesus moments where something has changed you from what you've seen, as opposed to just the trauma, but the experiencing of the people, looking in their eyes? Is there something?
Yeah. I mean, I've gone to therapy. I was on medication. I suffer from depression and PTSD. I've been diagnosed with all that, and that was at 24, 25 years old. So I've gone through that, and I've learned better ways to manage my stress and to manage those thoughts. And I used to have, I still do, but that's frequent, but recurring nightmares. I had a, lack of a better term, a Vietnam flashback moment that scared the living shit out of me. That was the turning point of I need help. And so there's a lot of buddies of mine that, we all joke about it, and laughter is the best medicine. And all we do after a call is just joke about it. We're very dark humor.
Right.
And, you just have to laugh it off, and it's just a coping mechanism. But over time, it adds up. And if you don't have an avenue to release that stress or those emotions healthy
in a constructive way,
in a constructive, healthy way. You're not drinking, you're not doing drugs, it'll start adding up if you don't. And it added up for me. I just was ignoring until finally I snapped. And that's when I was like, I need to go get help.
Do you feel like you could tell us what that was?
Yeah, absolutely. I could talk about it now. In the moment, it was one of the scariest moments of my life because I wasn't me. And so what happened was, I was with my ex-girlfriend at the time. She was a physician.
She was your girlfriend at the time.
I was with my girlfriend at the time, now ex, but she was a physician assistant student. So she's starting to be, step below like a doctor, and she's doing her clinical rotations, and we were living together at the time. And so she came home from work one day from her rotation. She's doing her surgical rotation, and she's sitting in and helping out the physicians during, basic surgeries and whatnot. And I'm in the garage fiddle fucking with something and working, cleaning or doing something. And she comes home and we start bullshitting. How's your day? Blah, blah, blah. Any cool cases? Because we love talking about that stuff together.
Yeah.
Because we can relate to it.
Yeah.
And she kind of went like this to scratch her nose or something. And she went like, what the? Smells it again. And she goes, oh, my fingers and my hands smell like burnt flesh. Because they were cauterizing during the surgery. And she even had gloves on and everything, but it still seeped through.
Yeah.
And she recognized it.
And she recognized, she's like, oh, like, I know that smell because I've just smelled it in the ER and it's on my hands still. So I was like, oh, like, no big deal. Like, oh.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting. Like,
on.
okay.
Yeah.
And she goes, here. And she, like, puts her hand out. And so, okay, I'll smell your hand. I thought she was going to give me, like, she's like, yeah, smell my finger, right? I thought she was going to give me that. Yeah, right?
Sure, it's not 8 p.m., but I'm down.
I love this girl.
Right? So, like, I thought she's like, oh, I'm going to get got right now. Yeah. And I did. I smelled it, and it immediately triggered a specific call that I ran where a individual was burned and didn't make it. So it was and in that moment, I immediately froze and went blank.
And you're talking about when you're sitting with her in that moment,
I'm
or
standing
on the call
right now. No, I was in. Sorry, when I froze and went blank, I was standing with her.
Okay.
In the moment of the call, I'm going
doing
to
it.
work.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to work, and he's just like ignore. And I'm standing there in my garage, and she's like, hey, and I'm not responding, and I'm just in another world. I am like a year ago or however long ago that call was, on scene with that, looking at it. And finally I kind of come around after, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds, 45 seconds. And
it felt like a lifetime to her, I'm sure.
It felt like an hour. And she's like, hey, welcome back. Like,
Right.
What was that? And I immediately got nauseous, and I walked out. I didn't walk. I ran out to the driveway, and I puked my guts out.
Damn.
Wow.
And being an EMS, you get a solid iron stomach because we smell things that no human should ever smell.
Straight up.
And for me to puke smelling a burnt flesh, which I've smelled multiple times before, I was like, what's going on? And so I look at her, and I'm kind of feeling myself to go back. I'm going back into that state. And I just looked at her. I go shower. Like, get in the house and go shower. Get away. Like, I cannot smell that again. And so she's like, okay, yeah, sorry. So she's freaking out now.
Get the bleach.
So she goes into the shower. I kind of, wash my mouth out with, a beer or whatever I was drinking. And and so...
My non-constructive way to handle my stress.
Non-constructive way, obviously. And I go sit in the den of my house, and I shut all the blinds, shut all the doors, turn all the lights off, and I'm in pitch black, and I'm just laying there in silence for 10 minutes while she's showering. And she kind of comes in like, hey, like, am I okay to come in? I was like, do me a favor, take the scrubs that you have and everything that you were wearing, like, straight to the washing machine. Like, I cannot smell that right now. She's like, already done. I bagged it. So she went and washed her clothes, and I just needed a moment. So it was about 30 minutes where I was just by myself, just trying to calm down.
Yeah.
And so, and also trying to figure out, like, what the fuck just happened?
What's going on with me?
I've never had this happen before. And of course, this was also like, she was right. She's been on me like, hey, you should probably, talk to someone because I've noticed you're a little irritable. And she's seeing all the signs, but I'm not.
Yeah.
And I'm typical dude, like, fine.
I think that's
just
safe to say with anybody. They don't
shove it
see
down. Don't worry about
Yeah.
it. And that's when I was like, you were right. I need to make a change. So that next day, that was right around Christmas time, I remember. I made a phone call to my doctor, my primary care, and I was like, hey, doc, this is what happened. I know I have PTSD, and I know I'm in a depressive state because I'm not doing anything that I love doing. I gained a bunch of weight. I'm not even hanging out with my friends anymore. I'm just isolating myself, but I'm doing it subconsciously. And now I've opened my eyes to what my behaviors are. I'm irritable with her. I'm irritable with my family. I'm sure you've seen me snap a couple times with my mom and dad.
Yeah, I mean, we would sit in circle and have cigars all the time, and yeah, I mean,
it's not, it's different than a son snapping at his dad because he's being a dick.
Yeah,
it's just overreactions, and so yeah,
you want to apologize to your parents?
Sorry, mom and dad. So and so yeah, I mean, I was an asshole. I was a straight up asshole to mostly everyone in my life, except for when I was at work.
At the job, yeah.
And on the job, I was the happiest I could be because now this is normal.
It's your compartment that you put. That's where you go, and it stays there. But you found that it wasn't staying there.
Yeah, it followed me home. And the old school train of thought was, I remember my dad and I having this conversation when I first started this job because he's seen a lot of things as well.
Yeah.
He goes, leave it at the door. That's an old school train of thought. Leave it at the door. Don't bring it home. And I wasn't anymore. I'm bringing it home.
It's hard to do that.
And I'm not saying it's right or wrong because I don't have a psychology degree. But looking back, I should have handled a lot of things sooner rather than letting him build. And so I started Therapy, I started medications on antidepressants. I was on that for, I think, about 6 months until I finally started really feeling a change. And therapy was helping as well. Went through a couple different therapists because I wanted someone who not necessarily had experience in my field, but experience with people who are like me.
Yeah.
You know, first responders, PTSD, veterans.
Not some newbie trying to fucking find their own road on
Like,
how to treat
I
you.
remember,
You need an emotional port dog, right? I have trauma, motherfucker.
I remember my first therapy appointment was with this younger therapist, and she was great. She was very nice. And she's, you know, first question, hey, why are you here? And I told her, I was like, hey, you know, I have PTSD because I'm a paramedic and I was an EMT and I've done this and blah, blah, blah. And she goes, yeah, I've never had anyone like that before.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thanks for being honest.
And I go,
we're
well,
good.
I go, okay. I go, well, can we like kind of work through the problem here?
Or can I have my copay back?
And and she's like, yeah, you know, we could talk about it, but I don't really know what I could do to help you.
Oh.
And I was like, the fucking wall of diplomas behind you? You learn nothing? Okay, fine. Like, thanks for being honest. Cool.
Yeah,
No,
for real.
straight up.
For real.
Like,
Yeah.
rather than waste my time. So
Yeah.
I ended up finding someone else who, she was phenomenal. Her name's Cassie.
Thank
So
you,
thank
Cassie.
you,
Good
Cassie.
looking out, Cass.
So her father was a fireman. Her husband was a Marine, and all she does, majority, not all, but majority of the people that she helps is first responders and military. So she was awesome. Helped me out a lot through a lot of things and talk about things that I didn't even know that I needed to talk about.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Right.
okay, great. Because again, like this, I had to look within myself because I was predispositioned to be like, this is gay. Like, I don't want to
Yeah,
be, I don't want
I'm
to go to
good.
therapy.
Yeah.
Like, this is not,
Yeah.
gonna, I'm not
I
that
chose
guy.
this profession. I know what
Yeah.
it is. I'm good.
And so, I had to have a conversation with myself before even the first appointment with that first chick. No expectations, no predispositions.
Yeah.
Play the game. If they ask you to do something or talk about something, just do it.
Yeah, trust that
Like,
process.
just trust, like, be vulnerable and trust the process. And it helped.
That's
Nice.
great. It's a good job.
Yeah.
So, after about 8 months of being on, you know, antidepressants, I decided to stop taking them because I felt great. Felt like I was being productive, back to my normal self, along with therapy. And I talked to my doctor about it. He goes, "Yeah, the good thing about this, you know, you can try it out. If it doesn't, you can hop back on it." And so I have been off of it now for about a year.
Okay, good.
And I feel great. You know, a lot
Excellent.
better than a year ago or a year and a half ago. And I'm very thankful that that situation happened because it made me better as a person and also made me be able to cope with a lot of things that I do see on a daily
Yeah,
basis.
they
Even
gave
now.
She gave you some tools.
Yeah, so I have tools that I now have in my work chest that I can use to help, you know, mitigate, you know, a bad day.
Nice.
And, you know, unfortunately, there's a lot of bad days that I have in this line of work, and it's not good in a sense of if I didn't have these tools, I would just go spiraling right back down.
Right.
So I feel a lot better. I'm doing a lot better. Very happy about that. And yeah.
Good.
So does it bother you to talk about any of those past experiences that you've had?
No.
Yeah.
No?
No.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And that's not those aren't even the worst, right? And I could talk about the worst and it won't bother me anymore. It used to,
Okay.
especially when I was in that fragile state before getting help. I'd always, you know, blow off. And one of the things I want to bring up too is, you know, for those that are listening, and I get it. I get the fantasy and the curiosity that people have with jobs that are like cops, firemen, paramedics, things like that, military. The question I get asked the most, what's the craziest thing you've ever seen? Right. And everyone that I've met is guilty of it, of saying that. Right. And I get it. And I'm not saying it's bad, but some people can interpret it differently. But you have to remember that when you're asking me out of curiosity, hey, what's the craziest shit you've ever seen? Okay, you want to talk about some dead babies that I've ran on? Like, that's
yeah,
crazy,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like, we could
That
talk
is
about that
crazy.
because that is the craziest
Yes.
thing. Or do you want to talk about like some dudes that he blew his head off with a shotgun? Like, we could talk about that too. But those are still traumatic to me. It might not be traumatic to everyone, right?
Yeah.
But at the time, I didn't know it was traumatic. But yeah, it adds up. And so, it's kind of take a beat where I'm like, hey, can you talk to me about your job? Or, wording it differently. Because if you ask someone, you don't know what mental state they're in or what they're carrying with them.
We forget, like you said, that we're asking you to share someone else's bad day trauma experience, and forgetting that you share that trauma experience, even though you're not experiencing the pain, the physical pain, or the anxiety that person's going through while they're not sure if they're going to make the day.
Right.
You're experiencing all of that on the other side of the table, all the same shit, but you're responsible.
Right.
So that they can open their eyes again.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, right? So.
Yeah. And even if that's a main thing, but also like there's calls that like there's nothing we can do. This person has been dead for weeks, and we walked in, and then I have the smells, the sights, the sounds, right? That's now stuck here. And my dad, I remember telling me as a joke, and it wasn't a joke now. He's like, "Yeah, have you smelled your first body yet?" And I go, "No." He goes, "All right, well, when you do, let me know."
Yeah.
And I did. I smelled my first decomposing body, and he goes, "You'll never forget that smell. You'll know exactly what that smell is every single time for the rest of your life."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's true. Like, I'll smell it from the sidewalk. I haven't gone to the house yet. I'm
Yeah.
like, there's a dead body in there.
It is. I worked at the animal shelter when I was a teenager, and the smell of dead dogs, I'll never forget that smell.
It's a
as
weird
long as I
smell.
live.
The only experience I have with smelling something that is no longer alive is an animal, and the only way I describe it is it's a sharp, distinct smell that isn't necessarily like garbage, but it pierces the back of my tongue, and it's almost like I can taste copper.
Yeah, well, I
in
don't
the
know about
smell,
copper, but you
right?
can,
Which is the
it's
smell
like
of
you can't
blood.
Get it off you.
Right, but
Yeah.
to me, blood tastes like metal.
Yeah.
Right, and so when I say the copper, like chewing on a penny, like that's the reference, right? So that's that smell that I recognize as death.
Yeah.
But I've never smelled a human. Is that the same smell?
No.
It's a different smell.
way
How would
worse.
you just, if you don't mind, describe?
Yeah, sure. I think the last one I went on was we got called out for a wellness check, which some of them are funny. Some of them are not.
Right.
Yeah.
This one was not. And so we get called out to an apartment complex. Hey, family hasn't seen or spoken to him in a while. And we show up, and the family's on scene. And I think it was like the daughter's husband, the daughter of the person who we're checking on, her husband. He's like, "Hey, man, I'm fairly certain he's dead." And he's very calm about it. And I'm like, "Okay. When's the last time anyone's talked to him?" Whatever. Like, it was like 3 weeks ago. I'm like,
Okay.
"Great. All right." So that's a while.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got to go check. I can't just take his word for it. I have to declare him dead. And so we show up, and the only reason why I had to do it is because PD was taking forever. If they were there first,
PD's allowed.
yeah, PD's
allowed?
when it's an obvious death.
Okay.
So this person is, we walk in, and we're walking up to the apartment complex, and I immediately smell it, right? And there's flies on the window, and I'm like, here we go. Like, right before I walk in, and
hold your breath.
Do they put? I remember seeing a movie.
little-
Put
yeah, the little
rubber
white-
Vicks-
so
that?
yeah,
Yeah.
there's some guys, they'll carry Vicks on them.
Okay.
I just hardcored it because I was like, let's just do it. And so I walk in, and we open the door. I have my flashlight because it was in the evening and none of the lights in the apartment were on. And as soon as we open the door, we just get hit with it. And even when I was holding my breath, like, it still just pierced me. And I put my flashlight, turn it on, and I see right in front of me, about 2 feet in front of me, what's left of him on the ground, and he's now melted into the floor.
Oh shit!
Full
And-
soft. Everything's just.
Yeah, melted into the floor, and everything's just black and brown, and you can tell it's a body barely, and the only thing that is sticking out and is bright white eyes staring at you.
Oh, wow,
Really?
dude.
That's it. And I'm like, okay, walk back out. Yep, he's dead.
Oh, wow.
Time of death is whatever. And so then now I have to then do the shittiest part of the job that anyone has to do is make notification to the family. So now I have to sit down with the family and let them know, hey, your loved
So
one
why
has
do
passed.
you have to do that instead of the police officer?
Because we pronounced and they're not there yet.
Oh,
So it's my job.
Family's okay. Yeah.
And they
so
were
the
there.
family
They're
was
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they the good news is what they knew. They knew just based on the smell, and the son-in-law was like, hey, like he's dead, but they needed us to check and make sure, and I have to then let them know, hey, your father has passed, he's expired a while ago, and there's nothing we can do. I'm very sorry for your loss, and now I have to then pivot and say, well, now I need his information, right? Can you tell me his name? Does he have any medical problems? Now I need to start doing a mini investigation to, is there a foul play involved, right? So I can notify PD. I have to call the coroner. So I have to do all these responsibilities as the paramedic on scene.
Wow.
So that was the last time I had one. And the smell is, it's piercing, but it's something you can't describe.
Yeah.
It's something you can't describe. You gotta smell it to know what it is, and it sucks. You as soon as like my dad said, as soon as you smell the first one, you know exactly what's gonna happen every other time as soon as you smell that.
Yeah, straight up.
I don't have trauma experience as far as like treating trauma, right? I have my own trauma, but I don't have that kind of trauma experience. But I mean, you said earlier about the smell of burning flesh, which really put you over that limit, turned you into a believer of seeing a therapist and whatnot, and you're smelling a body, you know what that smells like. There's some other things out there that when you're working, you catch a whiff of something distinct that
UTIs.
what's that? I mean, well, not what is a UTI, but what's that like? How
I
do you
could
pick
sniff that
smell?
out.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I've been around women my whole life. I never once smelled the UTI.
Hey,
I
you
never
probably
paid
didn't
attention.
realize
You put me in the room, I can tell whose pH levels are off. No, it's we run on so many geriatric population. If you don't like old people, don't be a paramedic.
Yeah.
If you like old people, don't be a EMT or a fireman, because that's all you run on. Majority of what you run on.
Also,
And
old people, when they have cancer, they have a distinct smell too of like a pneumonia. You notice that?
yeah.
Did you have you've showed up to a hospice?
Yeah, we showed up to
situation, I'm
hospice,
sure.
and we've seen it. I don't see it as frequent.
Okay.
Maybe I would be able to relate to that if I was in an oncology ward. I'll ask my buddy's wife, Ryan. She's she's an oncology RN, and so I'll ask her if that's a thing. But yeah, no, UTIs. So we go into con homes every day almost, and sniffs is what we call them, a skilled nurse facility. And so we go into these sniffs every day, especially where my station's at. We have, I think, 9 in our first in area, like within 2 miles. Damn. And so we're there every day. And I could tell as soon as I walk into a room, I can smell it down the hallway sometimes, is someone's got a UTI.
Jesus.
There's a foul smell of urine that's different than a normal smell of urine. That I could tell this person has a UTI, and then you check their catheter, their little bag. I'm like, yep, it's cloudy. It's barely yellow. This person got UTI. They're, have a fever of 104. They're altered.
Yeah.
They're combative sometimes.
Get them some antibiotics.
Like I got my ass handed to me plenty of times by 80-year-old women because they're combative from an infection. Because the infection has now gone septic and throughout their whole body, and it screws with your brain. So it'll make you altered, it'll make you combative sometimes. So you show up like sweet old grandma, and she swings on you.
Oh,
and you don't expect it. You're like, okay, grandma's got a nasty right hook. But yeah,
no health now sins for the old ladies.
like we used to, there's some horrible nursing homes that we've gone into, and I said the scent is cigarettes and UTIs. That's the combination that you smell, and
chlamydia. From what I understand, these guys like to get down in these old folks' homes, dude.
And so there's that. Another smell that I could point out is if you're having a GI bleed, you're having an internal gastrointestinal bleed, and when you poop, you're pooping out blood. There's a smell.
Yeah.
And I could tell
believe that.
there's a foul smell. It's like a rotten smell, worse than normal shit smell. And you could sniff that out too.
All right,
Damn.
But yeah, there's little fun things that I'm like, I didn't know I needed to have that special talent, but I do.
Right.
And
so, what any funny things that you came across?
Yeah.
oh, funny. So speaking of, like I mentioned earlier, a welfare check could be funny. So we was on our welfare check for an elderly woman. Family hasn't seen or talked to her in a couple of days because they live out of town, and they're calling her and she's not answering. So we show up and we walk up to a house and knock on the door. No one's answering. We, go to the backyard. None of the doors are unlocked. All the windows are unlocked. The car's in the driveway. So we're like, oh, well, I don't smell it, so I don't think she's dead, but maybe she did.
Are you allowed to break in?
So I am not. As a paramedic for my
right.
ambulance company, I am not allowed to break in. But the fire department is.
Okay.
So the fire department that's with us, they're like, okay, they actually they have a tool where they essentially pick a lock.
Okay.
And so they picked the lock. They were able to get into the house, and we're banging on the door. Hey, paramedics, fire department, nothing, no response.
Show yourself.
So yeah, taser.
Yes. Send it to the dog.
So we walk in and again yelling, "Hey, paramedics, fire department, anybody here? And no one was answering, and we hear the TV in the back room, and we're like, oh, like she's dead.
Right.
And so we walk in, and here she is sitting upright with her TV tray, eating her breakfast, watching TV, and we scare the ever-living shit out of her. Because we walked...
Oh, I fell again. Here, just hand it over. I don't know what I'm going to do with this picture.
we scared the ever-living shit out of her because she was watching her TV, she looks over, and now there's like 6 dudes standing in her room. And... I thought then she's gonna die from a heart attack. And so she's like, oh my God, what are you doing? And then she's kind of like, oh, your fire department, okay. And we're like, hey, we've been yelling, and are you okay? She's like, I'm fine. And I'm like, you didn't hear us? She goes, oh, I don't have my hearing aids in. And she had these were remote or Bluetooth headphones for her TV,
right?
So she could hear it better.
Yeah.
And so we're like, okay, well, you should call your family. They're worried about you because they haven't heard from you in like 2 days. And she goes, oh, my phone died and I couldn't find the charger.
Oh my God.
And so we're like, let's go look for your charger. So we're in the house looking found it. Like, okay, cool. So she plugged her phone in. I'm like, call your family. And let them know you're alive.
Yeah, right
And
now.
because they all think you're dead. And she's like, oh, okay. Why didn't they show up here then? They're that worried.
Question.
And I'm like, that's a question that I can't answer.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They were banging on the door. You didn't
I'm like,
hear them.
that's your
Yeah, maybe, right?
Yeah, right.
But so that's just a funny story there. Another good one. About maybe a year ago, we get called out for a suicide attempt, and the notes were unclear. Like, hey, son found father attempting his life, needs medical assistance. And so on suicide attempts, we stage as well. So we're parked a safe distance away because if a person is suicidal and is genuinely suicidal, that they are committed to taking their own life, they are also homicidal.
Oh, really?
They will take you down with you.
I mean,
they don't care.
by default, if you think about it, right? If you're willing to kill yourself,
I have no idea
you're
how they're thinking because I
homiciding-
never thought about killing
You're,
myself.
you're
So
homiciding
I really don't know.
yourself.
So
they're
there's
capable.
people who are, having suicidal thoughts, but a person who is absolutely committed and they're running to go jump off a bridge, and if you're standing in their way, they will take you down with you if they're that committed. So we stage on the calls like that. And so we get cleared to enter. So we show up. This guy's sitting there, and he's not really talking to anybody. And my partner is getting vital signs on him. I'm talking to the police officer and the son. And I'm like, okay, so what's going on today? Like, he looks pretty fine, just from my first impression. And, well, I came home. It's like 11 o'clock at night. He was like, I came home from my girlfriend's house, and I found him in the driveway, and he had a hose attached from his exhaust into the car, and he taped it. He was sitting in his car when I found him. So I yanked the hose out and pulled him out, and I called 911. I'm like, oh, okay. So like he's obviously not dead. But he could have, carbon monoxide poisoning. He could have respiratory issues. So we're checking all of his vital signs out. Everything is looking perfect. So I'm like, okay, that's good news. Everything's looking good. And just, again, taking my paramedic hat off and putting my detective hat on and figuring out what's going on. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go. For some reason, I got a wild hair up my ass. I'm going to go check this out. So I went over outside and I'm looking at the car and he sealed it up. He did it right. Car was a hybrid. And
oh my God.
When you turn the car on, it's running on the battery. And so you put it in drive.
So he's just sitting there.
And so he's just sitting there with no fumes.
Oh my God.
And so I walk back in, I go, he's going to be okay.
Well, but we need to get him some psychiatric help.
Yeah, he's not going to die tonight. He's going to be okay.
No. He
And
sticks his finger in the socket, maybe.
And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, the car's a hybrid. He got 0 fumes. And the guy who hasn't talked to us at all turned and looks at us like, are you fucking kidding me? So he didn't even know. And so we're like, okay. And I looked at PD. I'm like, hey, you guys gonna put him on a hold, a 5150 hold for danger to self? And they're like, yeah, we got it. You guys are good. All the vital signs are coming back. We're like, cool. Later, PD's gonna handle him and get him the mental health evaluation and the support he needs. But I had to wait until we got back to the ambulance to just absolutely bust up laughing because I'm like, you can't make this shit up.
No. I would have never made that.
Where are we going with this? It's so sad. I mean, we're sitting here laughing.
No,
obviously,
for sure.
But the situation is like, dude,
poor dude, but goddamn, it was fun.
No, it's constant entertainment. If you want to get a job that you're never going to be bored at, Go and fire, police, CMS. It's constant entertainment, and you just meet some individuals who lack common intelligence, and it's just hilarious because
and then there's the people you treat.
And so
not just my coworkers.
Well, like we joke all the time. Like I've delivered two kids.
Oh, shut it!
Yeah, and I've
Good
delivered.
For you.
Thank you, boy and a girl, they're both healthy.
Give me that. Give me one of those.
Well,
from the start.
That's great.
Give it to us.
So first of all, I went to school for 8 months to be a paramedic. EMTs can deliver as well, so that was 8 weeks. So let's call it 10 months, and I could deliver kids the same time as a doctor who goes to school for 10 years. All I had was a slideshow presentation, and we went over it a couple times in school.
Well, I never had any schooling, and I delivered one.
Yeah, so it was, that I would rather take a guy who looks like Swiss cheese with how many bullet holes are in him than deliver another kid. Most stress I've ever been in my life.
I say the stress of it, just
the stress of I'm bringing someone into this world right now, and I'm the guy right now. And community college dropout, high school diploma, delivering a kid right now. But okay, like let's do it, cowboy up. So, one of the stories we had for one of the kids I delivered was we get called out for person in labor. Okay, no problem. Show up, and it's a very lax call when someone's in labor until it's not.
Right.
And so, because people, have kids every day, this is not a medical emergency. This is a natural part of life. And then we look, we're like, baby's coming out. Now the adrenaline spikes. And so, luckily enough, she was in the bathtub of her residence. So we didn't make a mess anywhere else. And I have to hop in the bathtub with her. So I'm squatting in the bathtub. And I'm having luckily enough, this was not her first kid.
Yep.
And she's gone through this before. The husband has gone through this before. So the husband's kind of holding her hand. I'm okay, cool. Let's get this baby out of here.
Let's breathe. Let's get it. Our contractions. What are our?
Because first of all, you want to avoid any time you deliver in the field because it's dirty. Mm-hmm. Right, we're not a sterile environment like an ER,
straight
or
up.
even an L&D, and you got like 6 dudes with high school degrees or high school diplomas. Like, I don't know, what do you think we should do? So like, it's not the ideal.
It's not ideal.
Yeah, and so
I need towels. I need water.
A snorkel and an avocado.
So we have a kit. So we have a kit, and we open up the kit up. We have everything that we need. And all right, cool. So we see crowning. I asked the mom to push. She pushes. Okay, the shoulders are starting to clear. All right, I'm checking the neck to make sure that the cord isn't around the neck. I'm suctioning out the kid's nose, the kid's mouth. And I'm like, okay, when you start feeling another contraction, it pushed again. So I'm guiding the shoulders out like I was, fielding a ground ball at third base. And kid starts oh yeah,
slippery.
So kid's coming out, and I'm holding this thing for dear life because I'm not gonna be that guy that drops a kid.
No, I'm with
and so kid comes out, no complications. We have to spank it on the butt a little bit, start crying, start drying the kid off. I had the dad come over, he cut the cord.
Do you have a suction to clear the nose and the mouth?
So we suction all of that off,
Yep.
clean the kid up. We put the mom put the baby on the mom's chest. And I'm like, cool, doing that. So we assess the kid. Kid's okay. Mom, because now they didn't teach you. You have 2 patients now.
Yes.
So the paperwork just got doubled. And so so you're assessing 2 people, and that's when you have like another paramedic on the scene, which like I thankfully did. I was like, okay, hey, you're taking the mom, I'm taking the kid. And so, luckily enough, she had no complications. We were able to get her up, get her on the gurney, get her down to the hospital, and to my knowledge, everything was healthy.
Nice.
So that was fun. And of course, I was like, did you have a name picked out?
I like Shane.
And they're like, no. And I go, my name is Shane, by the way. And they go, no. And I'm like, okay, I get it. It's fine. And so
I got a brother named Sean.
Yeah, right. I was like, I'm not going to give him credit. He didn't do anything. So beautiful baby boy. And then I delivered a girl that was in the back of the ambulance. That was messy because we were going, mock Jesus down the boulevard, and I'm going like, fuck, can I do this right here? Cool. So I'm straddling the gurney, and mom pushed, and everything got on me. And I'm like, cool, guess I'm getting a shower after this.
Yes.
And it was a baby girl, no complications. And that was my first one, and that scared the shit out of me. That's when I was like, I never want to do this again. So I even told my partner, I'm like, if you ever have one, you're doing it.
You're out.
I'm done.
You're out.
I'm done. And
But I mean, the reward when that baby's out.
Yeah.
Right? What's that like?
Dude.
Oh, it was the best feeling.
Yes.
I was like, kind of like, take that, Dad. Talking shit all my life. Like, this is cool. And so, it was very, very rewarding. And that was like, that's peak of the job is having something like that, a very positive outcome.
Straight up.
Because that had a potential to be an absolute dumpster fire.
Yeah, that's the closest you'll get to someone's not worst day making that call, right?
Yeah, that's someone's best day, you know?
Yeah.
And we don't get to see those often, so it's pretty cool.
That's good stuff,
man.
bro.
Yeah, that's just the kind of stuff that you like, all right, this is why I did the job.
Yeah.
So.
Good for you.
Cool,
Yeah.
man.
Good for you, good for the kids, and good for the moms.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks
So-
for what you're doing out there, dude.
No, it's I
Yes.
love it. And I do it like everyone's like, oh, thank you for your service. Like, I do it for you.
Yeah.
Right. I don't. Yes, I'm selfish because, I'm the adrenaline junkie. I love going, hauling ass, lights and sirens. Like that's where I feel comfortable, and it's just you get this sense of purpose. And same thing as like when you're walking out to your walkout music to the octagon, right?
Yeah.
Like that's like I feel home right now. This is where I'm most comfortable. Like I'm about to like go to work and get some like kick ass and go to work, right?
It doesn't always feel that way, but yeah,
Well-
it can be that way.
But for me, like going down, like we'll be cranking Motley Crue going 80 miles an hour, to some GSW that we just got toned out on, and we're about to fucking do some work right now. Like let's go to work because we have a saying where I work where every day we show up on a call. This is our Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
They expect the best from us. And, if we half-ass a call and something happens, that's on us. And the people that call 911 don't deserve that.
That's right.
So we have to hold ourselves to a high standard and be accountable for our actions. And so every day we get a call, and whether it's for a toe pain for 3 months or, you know, a cardiac arrest, you know,
Or
hey, this is our Super Bowl.
Yeah, or a UTI.
Yeah, UTI. Like, hey, we got to show up and give our 100%. But I love it. Like, thank you. I appreciate it. I do it for you guys. But I will say, I'm a little selfish. Like this, I get a reward from this, helping others. This is what makes me feel good about myself. And, you know, I just want to keep pursuing the fire department. And so I can help people even in more ways now.
Yeah.
Because just because you become a fireman doesn't mean you're not a paramedic. You're still doing both jobs now.
Yeah, and anybody that's running a firehouse in Torrance, look at our boy Shane Dahlmeier.
Shane's ready.
Come on, get him on,
ready.
get him on the payroll.
We know people.
Yeah.
He knows people.
But yeah, it's a beautiful job, and it has its highs and lows, and the highs are really high and the lows are really low. But I wouldn't do anything else.
Yeah, well, now we need to talk shit to John. He didn't say anything like this.
John didn't give us any of those stories. John was telling us about his crazy long life story, which was cool.
Yeah, which was incredible.
That had to be a
Incredible.
two-parter.
Well,
If you
he's
want to
coming
get into
back.
that.
We'll have him back. Yeah, and thanks for today. I mean, you shared some insightful things, shared some personal things, dude.
No,
and,
for sure, brother.
and
Not just for us, but to somebody watching out there. I hope somebody gets something out of this, and somebody comes across this where it benefits them, because it benefited me, and I'm not even in the field.
yeah.
Yeah,
Straight
and
up.
I really do hope it does happen, because I was very against it for a long time, and I was very neglectful of myself, and it took something very scary and potentially damaging to make me realize, like, I need help. And anybody out there, you know, I'm not saying you have to be a paramedic, you have to be a cop, veteran, you know.
For sure.
Everyone goes through life in their different paths, and, you know, your trauma is different. I'm not saying any worse
Yeah.
or better than my trauma, and same thing as yours. It's just different, and
Yeah.
we react differently to things. And I'm never going to say, like, oh, because I see dead bodies and I do this and I do that, my trauma is more important than yours. No, it's not. It's just different, right?
For sure.
And it takes a special person to do the job mentally, right? And it's not for everyone. And for those that get discouraged because they think they can't handle it, it's not a representation of you as a person. You know, this is not built for everybody.
Yeah, I don't think I could do it. That's why I
and-
could never become a doctor.
Yeah. That's why you're not a doctor.
Yeah, no,
That's why. That's
honestly,
the
like,
only
that's
reason.
the only
That's
reason.
the only reason, because
Yeah, that's
my
the
mom
only
was
reason.
on my ass to become a doctor, and I was like, I can't even see myself get a shot. How do you want
I
me
can barely stick my Ozempic needle in my stomach. I'm not doing anything.
How do you want me
Yeah.
to do
You
something like
kidding
that?
me?
Yeah, no, I firm believer now, you know, get the help if you need the help. Even if you think you need the help, it's worth a session to talk
Straight
about
up.
something, or even talking to your buddies about it. Like, that's all we do, is we just do the same thing here without the cameras and the microphones, and we just sit there and swap war stories all the time.
Yeah.
And we have a dick measuring contest. Well, mine was better than yours, and
Right.
Well, I mean,
but that's our
even to-
decompression.
Yeah.
To address that, it's like, you know, letting it out
Yeah.
is really a therapy in itself. You don't have to have an actual therapist to have a therapy session.
Right.
And sometimes it happens natural, and you may view it as kind of like a dick swinging contest, like, oh, this is worse, or my scar is bigger than yours, or I
Right.
took a shrapnel here, like those war stories. But even though they seem like they're not a big deal to talk about, when you get them out, you're releasing that stuff, and somebody else hearing these stories can identify with those things, and they can grow too. And so I think maybe another time down the road, when you're in more of your, even farther in your journey, and you have other things that maybe you want to share with people to help release some things for you. And then when other people hear other people's traumas, it lets them release their own. And so I know that I've talked about on the show, like having some of my old stuff that I brought up, you know, and I've had to have conversations with my mom and my dad after those shows, because they listen to them, right? And I'm telling about things that they don't know,
Right.
right? And they're unfortunately hearing some of these things while other people get to hear them, instead of personally telling my parents that, right? So I've had to
Yeah.
learn what that's like. But we've talked about me sharing some of my story and having other people that have things going on in their life. When you share on camera and other people get to watch, they get to absorb that and share that, and they have growth themselves. So if there's a time you want to come back and really just have it be about some of the things that have really fucking gotten into you, whether they're good or bad, and talk more about that. And I know that people will benefit, and I'm waiting for my time to kind of do that. So if you want to come back another time and share more about what you've grown and be vulnerable again, we want to have you back and have that do that again.
Absolutely.
And even if you just want to come bullshit, you're welcome back.
You want to come back to the BS lounge?
Yeah, no, I mean,
For both, but think
it was
about
fun.
that.
Without anything too emotional, it could just be a laugh factory.
Oh, I got plenty of those, man.
Yeah,
I got plenty of those.
Yeah, come back as a casual to you. Welcome back as a frequent, so don't worry about that.
Yeah.
But thanks for coming on, man.
No,
Yes,
I appreciate you
very
boys
much,
having
bro.
me.
Greatly appreciative.
Thank you for having me. I had a great time.
Good. And till later.
Don't be
then,
shitty.
Don't be shitty.
Don't be shitty.
I'ma talk shit in a world gone stupid.
A bullshit? A bullshit.